All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's a little bit after 3. Hi, calling the meeting to order. Mauricio?
Commissioner Joseph,
Present.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Here.
Vice Mayor Vizcarra,
Here.
Mayor Svechin,
Here.
all members present.
Okay, thank you. First item, please.
First item on the agenda is a special presentation of a proclamation in recognition of Autism Acceptance Month.
Vice Mayor?
So this is Autism Acceptance Month, and every year we bring this forward. I've tried to bring in organizations from the community. We started with Un Paso a la Vez, and we've also presented to CARD, and today we'll be presenting the proclamation to Autism Speaks. We have Mr. Armando Ureña here to accept on their behalf. He is with the Executive Leadership Council of Autism Speaks of South Florida. And so I'd like to read the proclamation and then invite Mr. Ureña to come up and tell us about Autism Speaks and what, how autism is present in our community, and to tell us about their services. And then we'll take some pictures. Okay, so here's the proclamation. Whereas autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental disability that can cause significant social communication and behavioral challenges, and whereas autism is defined by a certain set of behaviors and is a spectrum condition that affects people differently and to varying degrees, and whereas diagnosis of ASD now includes several conditions that were previously diagnosed separately, such as autistic disorder, pervasive developmental disorder, and Asperger's syndrome, and whereas approximately 1 in 36 children have been identified with ASD in the United States, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and an estimated over 60 million individuals worldwide are living with autism, making it one of the fastest growing developmental disorders in the world. And whereas individuals with ASD have unique abilities, talents, and perspectives that enrich our communities, workplaces, and society as a whole, and whereas individuals with ASD face significant barriers to accessing appropriate education, healthcare, employment, and other essential services, and more work needs to be done to address these disparities. And whereas, while there is currently no known single cause of ASD, early diagnosis can help a person receive the support and services needed, which can lead to a quality of life filled with opportunity. And whereas during the month of April, we as a city pledge to promote autism awareness, acceptance, and inclusion for all, and will strive to ensure that each person with ASD is provided an opportunity to achieve the highest possible quality of life. Now, therefore, does the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach hereby proclaims the month of April 26 as Autism Acceptance Month in the City of Sunny Isles Beach. And so if Mr. Ureña will come forward, and as he does that, I wanted to also acknowledge, I don't know how many of you guys saw the Islander, but on the front page was the announcement that the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards has designated Sunny Isles Beach Police Department and Ocean Rescue Division as a certified autism center, recognizing their commitment to better serving and engaging with autistic and sensory sensitive individuals. So our police, our ocean rescue, and our public spaces and events are working with the community to make sure that everybody can participate. And with that, welcome.
To the podium, please.
So thank you for this meaningful recognition on behalf of Autism Speaks and the families that we serve. This truly matters. Autism affects 1 in 36 children in the United States. Therefore, it's not just a statistic, but it's something that affects our neighbors, our friends, and for some of us, our families. The mission of Autism Speaks is fairly simple but powerful: to create an inclusive environment, an inclusive world for individuals with autism throughout their lifespan. We are committed to advancing research, increasing understanding and acceptance, and providing critical resources for individuals and families, especially in the areas like early diagnosis, education, employment, and safety. This proclamation helps shine a light on the importance of acceptance not just awareness, because inclusion changes lives. So thank you for standing with us and for helping us move this mission forward.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a picture. Yeah. And then. It would be a little awkward. I want to recognize Commissioner Regalado that's in the audience. She's going to be speaking as well, but why don't you come take a picture with us now? It's more appropriate. Thank you. So while Commissioner Regalado is preparing to speak, please, I wanted to acknowledge the Vice Mayor for bringing this up, because I think that you brought this up many, many years ago as the first person to bring this in front of the commission, and since then, I think this entire commission has brought at least one item or something in support of it. So thank you for that. And I believe that Commissioner Joseph wanted to be added on to the proclamation.
Yes,
as well.
in years past, we've also had a family friend of ours who has an autistic son, and she's actually Terry Becerra. She has a program that she actually taught our ocean rescue and police officers regarding how to act around an autistic person.
Yes, so thank you. Please, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Commissioner Raquel Regalado, and I represent District 7 at the County Commission. I served as a school board member before that, but I'm here in my capacity as a very proud mother of 2 adults in the autism spectrum. So for those of you who know my story, my daughter Isabella was diagnosed after many years, A, of being nonverbal, and B, because of her age. Back in that era, women were not diagnosed as often as men, and we know that autism actually and neurodiversity does not see gender, so thankfully we've come a very long way. And then a few years later, my son Sebastian was also diagnosed. They are both very different in the spectrum, and they really have changed my perspective on life and made me a lifelong advocate for inclusion. So today I'm here to present the Florida Neuroinclusion Toolkit. So I created this, and I'm taking it to all of our cities and counties around the state, so that you can look at what we've done in Miami-Dade County and what I've worked on in the last 10 years and incorporate some of the things that you're doing, but also copy some of the things. Because one of the things that is happening is there's lots of businesses that are popping up and people that want to provide consulting to government on how to do this work. And that's great, but I'd rather that you spend your resources actually doing the work. So what the toolkit is it has an appendix with all the legislation, with all the work, with all the pilots, with the websites, with the data that we've done, so that everyone can emulate it and add to it. And I'm here to talk to you about a few of those things. So first and foremost, thank you for being one of the first cities to focus on training. Training is infrastructure. And when we talk about inclusion and neurodiversity specifically, one of the biggest challenges is that training, because how a neurodiverse person experiences the world is very different from how a neurotypical person experiences the world. And even though I have 2 autistic children and April is about autism acceptance, I've broadened that scope to include neurodiversity because a lot of autistic individuals have more than one diagnosis. So my daughter, for example, has ADHD, which is ADHD and autism. And a lot of autistic individuals have multiple neurodiversities, and that's actually very common. So in the world of neurodiversity, we have neurological delay, which is everything from dyslexia to autism, to Tourette's. We have Downs, obviously, and epilepsy, and there's a series of co-regulations there. And then we also have at the very top of that spectrum people who have traumatic brain injury, right? So you can actually become neurodivergent as a result of something that happens after birth. And then on the other side, we have folks that have neurological decline, and that includes dementia and Alzheimer's. So a lot of this work really fits an enormous amount of human beings and allows us as elected officials to really provide so many people in our community with support. None of the things that I've done have created any new systems. Everything is within existing systems. And I think that that's very important, not just at this moment, but throughout, because government was really created in terms of providing services with neurotypical people in mind. And what I've done is find a way to change that so that we can service people that are not neurotypical and give them the same access. One of my first projects was all of our libraries. I joked with my colleagues at the time that as a parent of 2 autistic children, if you told me to meet you at a library, I would ask you why you hated me. Libraries are not welcoming places for neurodivergent people. But now in Miami-Dade County, they are. Every single one of our libraries, all the staff is trained. We have social stories for every single one. We have sensory spaces. We have sensory activities. And we've really gone out of our way to make these public spaces accessible to everyone in Miami-Dade County. In here, I also have a lot of different tools that we've used at the county. So one of the county's first programs was MIA Air, and that is a program where to any resident of Miami-Dade County, we provide a dress rehearsal experience through the airport. You get your ticket, you board the airplane, you visit our sensory room, you sit in the airplane, you meet the pilot. That way, when you go for an actual flight, it's not the first time. It comes with a social story, and it comes with a sunflower lanyard. And this is a lanyard that we use for invisible disabilities, and it's actually used internationally, and we use it in transit also. So I would recommend it, to you all. We give them away for our office, and the airport actually gives them away also. But it's really important, and we use it for dementia and Alzheimer's also. And what we train people to recognize is if you see the lanyard and you see someone, now you know how to approach them should they need some assistance. Last year, we launched our special needs occupant with autism registration and sticker. This is available countywide. So far with NSU card, we have trained 4,120 first responders in Miami-Dade County. It has been a Herculean task to train so many individuals. And we've trained them with card. And also, as part of that training, they've met individuals with autism and heard their perspective of their interactions with police and fire. And that's really been the transformative part. The registration through the sheriff's office now, since they're independent from Miami-Dade County, allows you as a parent or as a caregiver to give the location of your home and to provide information for de-escalation for that particular adult. And you can, by name, what their needs are, should the parent be there, who to ask for, what are words that may trigger them. And this is information that is accessible through 911 to anyone. The sheriff this year added the registration of cars to this decal, so now you could register your vehicle. So you can put the decal in your car, you can put it in your home, and now the registration works for your home and for your vehicle. Of course, it's completely voluntary. Last year, we also rolled out with the tax collector's office our neuro inclusion days. At our fair on the 25th, the tax collector is going to be there, and we help neurodivergent adults and their families get IDs. IDs are so important, especially now with Real ID. You can't travel without a Florida ID. And as an individual in Florida, you can get an ID as young as 5 years old. For over a decade, we've been asking the state to allow us to put disabilities on IDs, and now that's possible. So now, with just a few documents from your neurologist, you can put autism spectrum disorder or just disability, if you choose, on your Florida ID, and it's a game changer for our families because you no longer have to worry about another card or another identification. And if they travel internationally, it qualifies as an internationally recognized document that proves their disability. Because as you know, you meet one autistic person, you just met one autistic person. The other thing that the toolkit does is provide how to do social stories and how to create sensory events. Sensory-friendly events are so important for residents of Miami-Dade County. Whenever we do events, we try to incorporate a sensory aspect. I've done mobile sensory units that we have as part of the county's outdoor events, but also sensory rooms in places like the youth fair and other county facilities. But something as simple as dimming the lights and turning off the music can make something sensory friendly. And that's just something that we talk about in terms of more accessibility. Fireworks, for example, not the best. Drones are better, right? There's a lot of things, providing folks with kits if you are going to have events. Can you buy some earplugs? Can you consider kind of sensory hours? The youth fair this year actually did sensory hours for us on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 3, and even the neurotypical people appreciated it. And when we talk about dementia and Alzheimer's, although people usually recognize that neurodiversity because someone is forgetting things, that's usually the secondary condition. The first one is sensory overload and overwhelm. And so when we talk about the elderly, sensory-friendly events are also a wonderful opportunity to have them and their families participate just by being a little bit more thoughtful about those activities. So this is the toolkit. It's available online. Here's the QR code. We'll pass them out to you. I'm here to answer any and all questions that you may have if you're interested in doing this work. It also includes the work that we're doing with job placement and zero drowning. Zero drowning is an initiative that Miami-Dade County has, and I made sure to include autistic children and adults because it is the #1 cause of death for all ages of people who are diagnosed within the autism spectrum. Water is sensory release for them and they're drawn to it. So we're moving towards a county-wide and statewide effort to teach them how to swim and prevent those fatalities. And obviously everything from transit to libraries to parks is in here. And adult training and employment. So we have also tweaked our employment at the county, our internships, the way that we interview so that people who are neurodiverse have an opportunity instead of focusing our hiring on eye contact and communication, actually letting them do the work. And I've worked with the Kendall Learning Academy and with Easter Seals creating programming throughout the county because the last thing we want to do is graduate our neurodivergent adults to the couch. It's not good for them. It's not good for their mental health. And unlike an elderly person that can go home and be taken care of by someone, the idea of after 20 years of having access to community and education, being sent home and staying there for 35, 40, 50 years is something that our community should not be doing. We know that it leads to schizophrenia, that it leads to a lot of other mental issues. So the big push now as we go into October is for disability employment opportunities and volunteer opportunities at all levels in government and in the private sector, and more adult programming that really recognizes that these are individuals that are going to live into their 80s and 90s. They can be productive, and productivity doesn't look the same for for everyone. Adulthood includes employment, whether that employment is 3 hours or 40, and we just want the opportunity to have our children participate in community. I will tell you, 15 years ago, I would have given anything to have neurotypical children. Today, I wouldn't change a thing about them. They are wonderful human beings. They have made me a better human being. They have lovely minds, and Miami-Dade County has led for so many years as a place that is welcoming and diverse. We have diversity of culture, we have diversity of language, we have diversity of race. And what I think we should all focus on next is, intellectual diversity. People can think differently, and it's actually a beautiful thing.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Anytime. And if you have any questions,
No, I think
Happy to field
you
them.
covered a lot. Thank you.
all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Perfect.
coming. We appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Next item, please.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a presentation of a proclamation presented for Jewish American Heritage Month. And
Okay. So this is my item. I believe that we have done this almost every year since I could remember, but I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation. Jewish American Heritage Month is a time to recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of Jewish Americans to our nation's history, culture, and achievements. And whereas the city of Sunny Isles Beach has always strived to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion of all its residents, stakeholders, and visitors alike. And whereas the Jewish community has played a significant role in shaping the fabric of American society, enriching our nation with their diverse backgrounds, talents, and traditions. And whereas Jewish Americans have made substantial contributions to various fields, including science, medicine, academia, literature, arts, entertainment, business, technology, and public service, greatly impacting the progress and prosperity of our nation. And whereas Jewish American leaders and visionaries have tirelessly advocated for social justice, equity, equality, and civil rights, promoting a more inclusive and tolerant society for all Americans. And whereas Jewish Americans have demonstrated remarkable resilience, determination, and perseverance in the face of adversity, embodying the spirit of the American dream and inspiring generations with their stories of triumph over hardship. And whereas the Jewish community has enriched the cultural landscape of the United States through their vibrant traditions, festivals, music, and culinary heritage, contributing to the diversity that defines our nation. And whereas JHM provides an opportunity for all Americans to deepen their understanding of Jewish heritage, history, and values, fostering dialogue, mutual respect, and appreciation for the contributions of Jewish Americans. Now, therefore, do I, Larissa Svechin, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, hereby proclaim the month of May as Jewish American Heritage Month in the City of Sunny Isles Beach. I just want to say that overall, as a commission, we have been very supportive of not just our Jewish community, but the Jewish community worldwide through various resolutions, proclamations, and even events. And I want to add that Commissioner Joseph is also adding his name to this proclamation.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't know if you wanted to say a few
Of course.
words.
I actually, as a full supporter, 100% supporter of Israel, and I'm 100% committed to having the Sunny Isles Beach community. We have an event planned for the beginning of May to bring the entire community together for one day, which has never happened before. We have different congregations and synagogues that celebrate events separately, but I'm hoping for May 5th to have everyone come together, and non-Jewish people as well are invited to join us to celebrate the achievements of the Jewish community worldwide, and also as one entire community to celebrate togetherness within Sunny Isles. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mauricio.
next item is to see presentation of a proclamation recognizing Administrative Professionals Day. And I'll read that proclamation into the record, Mayor. Proclamation reads, whereas Administrative Professionals Day, observed on April 22nd, 2026, is part of Administrative Professionals Week, which recognizes the vital contributions that administrative professionals in workplaces across the nation. And whereas administrative professionals serve as the backbone of efficient and effective operations within government, business, and nonprofit organizations, providing essential support that ensures the smooth delivery of services to the public. And whereas these dedicated individuals demonstrate professionalism, adaptability, and commitment to excellence while managing complex tasks, coordinating communications, and supporting leadership and organizational goals. Whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach recognizes the invaluable contributions of its own administrative professionals whose diligence and dedication enhance the quality of municipal services and support the mission of the city. And whereas it is a fitting and proper to set aside a day to honor and express appreciation for administrative professionals and to acknowledge the important role they play in strengthening organizations and communities. Now, therefore, do I, Lucis Fetchin, and as mayor, and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2026 as Administrative Professionals Day in the City of Sunny Isles Beach.
Okay, thank you.
The next item is 2D, proclamation for National Water Safety Month, and that proclamation reads, whereas water safety is a critical public health issue, particularly in coastal communities such as the City of Sunny Isles Beach, where residents and visitors enjoy access to beaches, pools, and waterways year-round, and whereas drowning remains one of the leading causes of unintentional injury-related death, especially among young children, and is preventable through education, awareness, and the implementation of proper safety measures. Whereas National Water Safety Month serves as an opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of water safety practices, including constant supervision, learning to swim, wearing life jackets, and understanding water conditions. Whereas organizations such as the American Red Cross, the National Drowning Prevention Alliance, and local public safety agencies work year-round to promote water safety education, providing life-saving training, and advocate for a safer aquatic environment. And whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach is committed to promoting the safety and well-being of its residents and visitors by supporting water safety initiatives, encouraging swim education, and recognizing the vital role of lifeguards and first responders in preventing water-related incidents. And whereas by working together as a community to prioritize water safety, we can help reduce the risk of drowning and ensure that everyone can safely enjoy our beautiful coastal environment. Now, therefore, do I, Lucis Fetchin, and as mayor, and on behalf of the Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, hereby proclaim May 2026 as National Water Safety Month in the City of Sunny Isles Beach.
Okay.
2E is a proclamation recognizing Building Safety Month. That proclamation reads, whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach is committed to ensuring the safety, health, and welfare of its residents, businesses, and visitors through the enforcement of safety building codes and standards, and whereas Building Safety Month is an international campaign celebrated each May to raise awareness about the importance of modern, regularly updated building codes and the role they play in protecting the lives of property. And whereas safe buildings are essential to resilient communities, particularly in coastal cities such as the City of Sunny Isles Beach, where structures must withstand environmental challenges, including hurricanes, flooding, and rising sea levels. And whereas building safety professionals, including inspectors, plan examiners, engineers, architects, contractors, and code officials, work diligently to ensure that buildings are constructed and maintained in accordance with the highest safety standards. Whereas the observance of Building Safety Month, led by the International Code Council, promotes public education on building safety, disaster preparedness, and the critical role of code compliance in safeguarding communities. And whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach recognizes the importance of educating residents and property owners about building safety practices, permit requirements, and the value of working with licensed professionals to ensure safe construction and maintenance. And whereas supporting Building Safety Month, the city reaffirms its commitment to strengthening community resilience, promoting safe construction practices, and protecting the lives and property of all who live, work, and visit Sunny Isles Beach. Now, therefore, do I, Lucis Fetchin, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, hereby proclaim May 2026 as Building Safety Month in the City of Sunny Isles Beach. The next item is proclamation for National Police Week. That proclamation reads, Whereas National Police Week is observed throughout the United States in May to honor the dedicated law enforcement officers who serve and protect our communities and to recognize those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Whereas members of the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department demonstrate unwavering commitment, courage, and professionalism in safeguarding the lives and property of residents and visitors while fostering trust and partnerships within the community. Whereas law enforcement officers face significant risks and challenges in performance of their duties, often placing themselves in harm's way to ensure the safety and well-being of others. Whereas it is fitting and proper to recognize the service and sacrifice of police officers and to express our gratitude for their tireless efforts to maintain peace, uphold the law, and protect the constitutional rights of all individuals. Now therefore do I, Larissa Svechin, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, hereby proclaim May 10th through the 16th as National Police Week in the City of Sunny Isles Beach.
Is there a typo on the next item? Has the same title?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that is a typo.
So it
So-
should read,
2G should read a proclamation recognizing Public Service Recognition Week. That proclamation reads, whereas
Want to take a drink first?
good, thank you. Whereas Public Service Recognition Week is observed during the first full week of May and honors the dedicated men and women who serve our nation as federal, state, county, and local government employees. And whereas public servants play a vital role in ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of our community through the delivery of essential services, including public safety, infrastructure, education, and administrative support. And whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach is proud to recognize the commitment, professionalism, and integrity of its employees who work diligently each day to enhance the quality of life for residents, businesses, and visitors. And whereas Public Service Recognition Week provides an opportunity to express appreciation for the often unseen efforts of public employees whose work is essential to the functioning government and the strength of our community. And whereas it is fitting and proper to acknowledge the contributions of all public servants and to encourage continued excellence in service to the public. Now therefore do I, Larissa Svechin, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, hereby proclaim May 3rd through May 9th, 2026 as Public Service Week in the City of Sunny Isles Beach.
okay.
And the last proclamation, last but not least, is 2H, a proclamation for Family Resource Day. You want me to read? Yeah. Okay, I'll read that proclamation, and then Myra will have a few words. That proclamation reads, whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach is committed to promoting the well-being, stability, and quality of life of its residents by providing access to programs, services, and resources that support individuals and families. And whereas Sunny Isles Beach Family Resource Day is a special community event hosted by the city to bring together a variety of city and community services designated to support and benefit its residents. And whereas this event serves as an opportunity for residents to learn more about available resources, connect with service providers, and discover programs that can enhance health, safety, education, and overall family wellness. And whereas Sunny Isles Beach Family Resource Day reflects the city's continued dedication to fostering a connected, informed, and supported community through meaningful outreach and engagement. And whereas events such as this strengthen the bonds within the community and demonstrate the city's commitment to serving residents of all ages and backgrounds. Now therefore do I, Larissa Svechin, and as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, hereby proclaim the March 12, 2026 as Family Resource Day.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Myra Aleman, Chief of Staff. So this proclamation is especially meaningful to me as Family Resource Day is something very close to my heart. It's actually kind of like a full circle as I was going through my MPA program. This is something I focused on, so see it come to life in the community is very meaningful. It reflects our commitment to connecting, informing, and engaging our residents through a family-friendly event. During this event, we bring together a wide range of resources from county and the state, while all city departments participate and showcase in an engaging and interactive way the valuable resources we provide to our community. Our media team prepared a recap video, which I will share to help illustrate the impact of this event.
Thank you. It's really amazing. It was a great event, Myra. Thank you so much for all
Thank
your
you.
work on it.
We can take a picture with the proclamation, please.
Okay. Now for the main event.
Next one is a presentation by the Florida Department of Transportation regarding the Lehman Causeway Project Development and Environment Study.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Jessica Cruz. I'm the FDOT Project Manager for the William Lehman Causeway PD&E study. And I have here with me Roberto Gutierrez. He's the Consultant Project Manager for this project. And also Veronica Paredes. She's the Community Outreach Specialist for this one. Thank you very much for having us here today to present this project. Do you have the slides? Can you go to the next slide, please? Oh, this one. There you go. So our team will be presenting today the project location, why the project's needed, and the PD&E study and process and objectives. At the end, we'll conclude with the next steps and welcome all your feedback. The project involves the potential modification of State Road 856, also known as William Lehman Causeway, to support additional non-motorized accommodations such as shared use path and or dedicated bicycle pedestrian facilities. The project includes one bridge that acts as a point of connection between the coastal communities of Sunny Isle Beach and Golden Beach and the mainland city of Aventura. The specific limits of the project extends from State Road 5, also known as the US 1 and as Biscayne Boulevard, to the State Road A1A, or also known as Collins Avenue, in Miami-Dade County for approximately 1.7 miles. We would like to highlight the FDOT Compass initiative. FDOT is dedicated to maintaining and enhancing the state's infrastructure to meet the needs of both residents and visitors, now and in the future. The department focuses on critical areas like communities, safety, resiliency, supply chain, and workforce development to achieve this. FDOT recognizes the unique needs of each community, and it strives to create a transportation system that improves connectivity, enhances the quality of life, and aligns with a shared community vision. Roberto will now present the key project information, current progress, and the coming next steps.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioner. As Jessica mentioned, next slide. Right. So the purpose and need of this project is really to accommodate pedestrian and bicycle activity, and also improve the connection between the mainland and the coastal community.
You can speak up just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
And most important, safety is part of our purpose and need. Please note that capacity improvements are not part of the purpose and need. The main focus of this study is to provide that connectivity for the entire limits of the William Lehman Causeway to accommodate pedestrian and bicycle activity and safety. This is the transportation project delivery process. We are in the second stage of the fifth stage to construction, which is called PD&E, Project Development and Environment Study. Here's really where we look at all the engineering alternatives. We look at avoiding, minimizing, or mitigating environmental impacts associated with the alternatives, and also comply with NEPA, which is the National Environmental Policy Act. And at the same time, public involvement, which is the reason why we're here presenting to the city today. When it comes to the actual PD&E study process, we are, let's call it somewhere in the middle. We started early 2025. We had our kickoff meeting back in May of 2025. Right now, as you can see, we are here in the engineering and environmental analysis where we're coming up with alternatives and laying out all the details to be able to present this to the public at a later date at our alternative workshop. And then after that, we're aiming to finalize the project at the end of 2027. This slide is very busy. As you could tell, there are a lot of constraints with this project. We have segmented it into two segments. Segment one is from the beginning of the project at US 1 to West Country Club Drive. We're calling this the at-grade segment. This is where we're anticipating a shared use path at grade on the ground, either on the north or south side of the causeway. And then segment two, we're calling the bridge segment. This is really where the facility starts going up, going over the intracoastal, meeting the vertical and horizontal clearances to reach the site of Sunny Isles Beach all the way to A1A. Some of the existing conditions, as you can tell, there is a lack of pedestrian and bicycle connectivity within the causeway because it is a limited access facility. There is no bicycle pedestrian connectivity from US 1 to West Country Club Drive, and there is a lack of pedestrian connectivity for the remainder of the causeway from West Country Club Drive all the way to Sunny Isles Beach. As Jessica mentioned, we have a big constraint here with the intracoastal bridge going over the intracoastal, meeting that 65-foot clearance. That will be one of the challenges with this project, to be able to accommodate that shared use path and also meet the requirements to cross this intracoastal. From the engineering side, we'll look at everything related to the engineering side when it comes to drainage, structures, lighting, and everything else. Main focus here is our alternative analysis process, where we are going to evaluate everything that was done in the past. There's a long history with this project, and we'll also be looking at new build alternatives that are either going to be in the north or south side of the causeway, or even within the median of the causeway as well. From the environmental side, we'll be looking at all the social cultural effects, cultural resources, natural resources, and physical effects associated with alternatives that we'll be looking into. And the public outreach is very important part of this project. As you guys know, this project pretty much came from the request of both cities of Aventura and Sunny Isles Beach. One item I wanted to highlight here is really our project advisory group that we have for this project. It's really a group of champions that are be supporting and helping us with the outreach of this project throughout the PD&E study. We held our first PAG meeting back in summer of 25, and we had representatives from both the city of Sunny Isles Beach, city of Aventura, the police department, the Aventura Mall, very key stakeholders within the project area. And from the schedule side, as I mentioned, we began back in the beginning of 2025. We are ramping up to present all alternatives at the alternative workshop, and then our public hearing aiming to be in the summer of 2027, and then from there finalizing the project at the end of 2027. And in the meanwhile, we'll still be holding additional PAG meetings throughout the life of the project as well. And with that, I'll open it up for questions. And we have two QR codes here. If you guys want to find out more information about the project, it takes you straight to the website. And also, we have a survey if you guys want to have additional feedback when it comes to the
Okay, I
PD&E.
just want to make sure that that's going to stay up so that anyone
Yes.
online can access it. Okay, please, you have questions, go ahead.
Yes. So are you intending to build a protected lane or an elevated lane? What is the
Yes.
proposal?
Yes, as you noticed, the design speed is 55 miles an hour. So there is fast-moving cars moving along here, this limited access facility. So the goal is to provide what we call a barrier-separated shared use path. And what that entails is having a barrier separating the vehicular traffic and the pedestrians and bicyclists.
Right.
So yes, it will be barrier separated.
Okay. So I know previously there had been a proposal to FDOT from a Sunny Isles Beach resident, Ken Percy.
Yes, met him on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So you know about the elevated tram,
Yes.
and there's also the same type of allowance for bicycles and pedestrians to walk on his tramway.
Correct.
Yeah, so is that something that actually seems like a more viable option? Because how much is your budget for this whole thing?
How much is what, I'm sorry?
Your budget,
Budget, well, we have a budget for the actual PD&E study.
right, but there would be a
There will be
major
a construction
cost.
cost, right now, we're working on all the alternatives and all the alternatives are very different. We're talking about widening alternatives or providing a brand new standalone bridge just for the shared use path, so the cost is gonna vary depending on what alternative moves forward.
Yeah, so in light of that, is Ken Percy's project looking better to you?
Well, Ken's project is a little bit different in the way that it extends all the way down,
Yes.
A1A all the way down to
Well,
pretty much the
also for
beginning of Sunny Isles
bicycles
Beach.
and all,
Correct.
and pedestrians.
Correct. So our facility, what I could say is that our facility would match with his idea
Mhm.
of having that connectivity all throughout Sunny Isles Beach,
Right,
from north of Haulover Park all the way to Aventura.
and it would also assist getting people to the mall and to the
Correct.
Bright Line.
Correct. So the goal is to have that connectivity from the coastal side to the mainland side.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have infrastructure already, sidewalks on both sides, on A1A and US1. So the goal is to connect to that. We are in constant coordination with other agencies. We know Brightline is looking at building a pedestrian bridge crossing from the Brightline to Aventura.
Right.
So we're aware of that. We're aware of everything that the Sunny Isles Beach Public Works is working on when it comes to the areas underneath the bridge
Mhm.
and their
Right.
new storage facility that's currently being built. So we've been in contact with all the key stakeholders to make sure that we provide that connectivity.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have questions? Vice Mayor?
Yes. So this doesn't in any way impact the current use of the space under the bridge. This is basically just adding that safety lane for pedestrians. That's it?
That's the challenge. So the
Okay.
challenge is there's many ways you can skin a cat, right? So as I mentioned, you can widen the bridge to accommodate the shared use path. You could provide a brand new standalone bridge that would have columns coming down in those areas. As you saw from the map, that has a lot of circles. There's a lot of constraints, including all the areas underneath the bridge being used on both sides of the intercoastal. So the challenge is to minimize those impacts as much as possible. But we are looking at alternatives that altogether avoid having any kind of new foundations or piles within those areas to minimize those impacts.
Okay, so you're widening the Lehman
One of the
so that
alternatives.
there would still be a shoulder
Correct,
for the vehicles? Okay.
correct.
I did that walk to Country Club Drive once. It was enough. To and from, it's incredibly dangerous. And I'm surprised at how I see people on it every day, on their
too.
scooters, on their bikes, or sometimes just walking. And it is a lack of connectivity. There is, I think the mall employs a lot of people. There's schools and jobs. I personally work in Aventura as well, so I
Right.
take the Lehman. That's why I see these people all the time. And I can tell you that one time I cured me. There is no way that I would ever purposely do that. I mean, it's because my car ran out of gas or something like that. I would have no other option but to do that. It is very dangerous. We have a lot of distracted drivers, and I mean, it was frightening. I could not wait to get off it. So this is a good. This is good, but it does take time, and we hear people complain sometimes. It's like, oh, things don't move fast enough, but you want to do it right. You want to do the studies, and just widening it and adding a lane takes years.
Right.
So I just wanted to mention that it's not just us. That's just how things work. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Stevenson, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few comments. So it was in July 2023, almost 3 years ago, when Ken do the presentation. So I want to understand a little bit about the process, because you said that the city requested to be part of this conversation.
Many years ago, yes.
Okay, I want to understand a little bit more about how we got to that. Maybe not by you, by the city staff, how we got there. Because like I said, 3 years ago, we brought up that conversation. Came in, he did his presentation. 3 years later, we are in the same, but we just lost that time. So I just want to understand a little bit of the process, how we got there.
If you don't mind, I could
Please go
answer.
ahead.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
So there's a long timeline here with this project, and I will go back all the way to 2012, where DOT looked at a pilot program to add bicycle usage on the shoulders of limited access facilities. There were 3 of them that they used as pilot programs, the Causeway being one of them. That was back in 2012. That pilot program probably ran 2 years. They did additional studies to make sure that understanding the safety associated with having those bicyclists for those 2 years there. And that safety study came out in 2014. The bicycle usage maintained to this day that you see the markings on the shoulders. So to this day, bicyclists are allowed to use the shoulders on the causeway. There was a TPO, Miami-Dade TPO study that was done, I want to say maybe 2020, I may be wrong with the dates, but back then that was a larger area that was covered by the entire county, looking at improving multimodal connectivity from the coastal to the main line throughout the entire county. So we're talking about all the way from Miami Beach all the way to the limits of Miami-Dade County. And in there, the causeway was brought up as one of the areas that may be used to improve connectivity from the mainland to the coastal. From that resulted in the involvement of both cities, of City of Aventura and City of Sunny Isles Beach, to make sure that DOT continues that investigation on how we can provide that connectivity. So it's a long history of it.
So you guys reach out to us.
Well, the cities reached out to the TPO, and the
But which is
TPO
part of-
obviously works with the
That's what I
department.
don't believe. Maybe you are the person to answer my question. I want to know how we got there, us. Because like I said, 3 years ago, Ken was completely dismissed when he came and he did his presentation. We lost 3 years of having this conversation. He was also in conversation back then with TPO, and he went there and he met everybody who was in the board back then. I remember because I was there when he was there. That was
Right.
in 2023. And that's my point. We lost 3 years of being able to do something, knowing that we have that problem. I know that you are aware by now because we had that conversation about what we had to do with the scooters here inside our city. So this is being part of a long conversation. My point is that it's not that government moves slow. People move slow, and by design, by not making the decision that they have to do when they have the ability to. So my point is that I want to know how we got to work with you guys. I want to understand the process internally from the city staff, who reached out to and when. My question is why the project that we had 3 years ago, just to start the conversation, was completely dismissed, and now we are having this conversation. And that's not with you, but thank you for that.
Okay, so just to get clarification, Commissioner Stevenson, you're asking the city manager when there was the first conversation about
Sure,
having a
yes.
bike path?
No, not going to have it. When we start having the conversation with the consultants to start being part, because when Ken was here back in 2023, I watched the video today to just refresh, he was also in conversation as well with Aventura. And now, like I said, we lost 3 years because we had somebody willing to start all this, and we completely dismissed. And he's a world-renowned expert into this. So my question is right now, when is it that we suddenly decide that we want to be part of this project?
Okay,
Yeah, can I just say something?
let the city manager answer that question if he can, because I don't know if there's an actual date that you can identify.
No, I don't have a date exactly.
Do we have a
I
year?
think the gentleman explained, when did you say it started, in 2012?
Correct. Well, the entire need of addressing bicyclists and pedestrians, well, bicyclists at that time was in 2012. But one thing to add, the scope of Ken's project is very different than the scope
Oh,
of
I know,
this
no,
project.
definitely, completely.
We got to keep that in
Yeah,
mind. And when
yeah.
I'm talking about the 2012, it's only been within the limited access DOT right away that we're talking about.
Well,
And-
I guess there are emails or communications with you guys, between you guys. So at some point, just to start this conversation, it has to be a preliminary meeting. And so if we don't have it right now, I would like to know, when do we start? Because like I said, we should have not lost these 3 years of being part of this conversation. So,
you don't mind.
and at least, do we know which year we start this conversation? Last year, 2 years ago, 3 years? And you guys are being paid by the state, by the county, by the city? Where is the funding coming from?
So let me give you a little bit more background. So 2020 MPO identified the need. Between 2020 and before we started as the PD&E in the beginning of 2025, internally DOT and the MPO, TPO,
yeah.
looked at several feasibility studies on how to fix this problem. It's a problem because it's a challenge to accommodate.
Absolutely.
This is a limited access facility. This is not an arterial. This is not A1A. This is not US 1. In a limited access facility, you're not supposed to have pedestrians at all. Even bicyclists. Bicyclists are supposed to be in a separate facility for safety reasons. So it's not, unfortunately, there's not a quick solution for this project.
Correct.
And there was efforts by DOT and the TPO to look at different feasibility studies internally to see how this can be accommodated. Part of our slides when it comes to alternative analysis included looking at planning alternatives, and that's what I meant by planning alternatives. Everything that was looked at from 2020 to 2025 includes that analysis that we are doing as part of the PD&E, where we're looking at everything that was done in the past, all the different alternatives that were done in the past. And this PD&E is being funded by federal dollars, by the state, by DOT. So we are getting paid, obviously, from DOT side as a consultant to be able to do this PD&E.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, did you have one?
Yeah,
some
so
other
I'd
questions?
just like to say that I actually, in 2023, sponsored Ken's proposal. Came before the Sunny Isles Commission. It was supposed to go the next day, or actually the next month, to Aventura, but when the Sunny Isles Commission voted it down because the commission wasn't ready for this project, then Aventura ended up not voting on it at all. So that's what happened as far as Ken's project, but he continued to push it through FDOT, which I believe it's a viable project, which would be beneficial and absolutely fit into your project because it wouldn't require any widening.
Correct. Yeah, I had a great conversation with Ken on Tuesday that we held our pop-up event at the Heritage Park. Great idea, but it is a broader scope, broader project
Correct.
area.
Yes, and like I said, Sunny Isles
Coordination with several cities.
wasn't ready at the time.
Correct.
I believe in the future it will
Correct.
be ready.
So a lot of parties involved in that type of project.
Okay. Vice Mayor, did you have anything else?
Only that I think these are two different conversations. This is a limited scope widening of the road, which is welcome. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be walking over there. But like I said, I learned it, I learned it by living it.
Right.
And the fact that, this is federally funded, that's music to our budget's ears. Thank you.
Thank you. I just had some follow-up questions when you were there. We had a brief conversation, just to get a sense of the timing, because and how long it takes to do something like this, and why it's so important to do it correctly, because it's meant to last for, how long is it supposed to last? 75 years?
Correct. The typical lifespan of a bridge is 75 to 100 years, yeah.
And did you get an opportunity to find out when that bridge was put in?
The existing bridge was
Yeah.
constructed back about 45 years ago.
45 years ago, okay.
DOT has a very extensive, bridge inspection program. So
Right.
That bridge is being inspected every year. There hasn't been any critical issues with any of the components from both superstructure or substructure of the bridge. So it's standing in good condition to
No,
today.
I meant that the lifespan is meant to be very long, and when it was put in, it was a very different, Aventura was different, Sunny Isles Beach was
Correct.
different.
Correct.
And to Vice Mayor's point about, people crossing over there, it just seems like there's more and more and more. And I think it was back when Commissioner Levin was here, she had worked to try to do some bike connectivity to help that issue. I love this idea. For me, I think the idea of having a completely separate path so that it is completely dedicated to bicyclists and pedestrians is really important. You had said at the pop-up that you had, or maybe not you said there was 90 people that had participated, and that's so far between us and Aventura, but you have not come in front of Aventura yet?
We have met, individual one-on-one meetings
Right.
with the city manager and Kevin Klopp.
Yeah, I want to, make a point to whomever is watching right now, is that it's very important they participate, particularly the people that live along the area that is going to be affected once this construction starts. And
Yeah.
I know that it all depends on the design. I know
Right.
that. So
Right.
I'm not looking to put you into a position where you're going to give me a number. But if you were to say, and you're a professional engineer, the difference between putting in a completely separate bridge versus what is currently there and putting in some sort of barrier, how much would that change?
Well, the price difference will be large. if
Significant,
it's
right?
Significant
But
if
it's
it's a new bridge.
it's federally funded.
Correct.
Okay.
But let's be clear that we have funds for this PD&E at this stage.
Right.
Right. The DOT is still trying to allocate the funds for the next few phases.
Right,
So
of
it's
course.
obviously dependent on what's going to be built.
Right.
So we're at that stage where we're looking at all the different alternatives. As you mentioned, having a standalone bridge is going to be very different cost than utilizing the existing typical that we have out there right now. Widening is even a higher cost as well, because you still have to bring columns down
Right.
within the existing footprint of the piers and foundations. So it's almost as a standalone bridge as well, because you still have to come down to the ground.
And I know that officially pedestrians are not supposed to be walking on the bridge,
Yes.
but do you have a count of approximately how many people you estimate are walking across that bridge annually?
We have in our public records, we have done a existing forecast of the activity in the area, both vehicular and pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you that every single time that I've been here,
Right.
I have seen somebody cross over, and I agree with you. I wouldn't do it myself. I don't have an actual number for you,
Okay.
but it's being used on a daily basis.
Right, no, that I know.
And we have, DOT has signs out there that, says prohibit pedestrians, and I understand, but I also understand the lack of connectivity from the main line to the coastal in this area, right? You gotta, walk miles to get around to the other side. So,
Right, if you don't have a car, then,
correct, right? And, we have the Jewish community as well,
Mhm.
that certain times of the year, they can only walk, so that's another component of it as well. So it's quite a bit, I'll be
Okay.
honest with you, Mayor. It's not a small number. We have the documentation that you guys are more than welcome to review. But yeah, it's definitely happening.
all right, so what can we do from our end to help move this along, if anything?
Your guidance and questions and support. I mean, from everything that we've heard today, everybody wants this to be built by yesterday, which I completely understand. Like I told you, I've been out here several times and I've seen the need. Unfortunately, we do have to follow the NEPA process. We have to follow the National Environmental Policy Act by law, which requires us to have these public meetings to include all the environmental impacts that we have to take into account with any of our alternatives. So it is a lengthy process, right? Just the PD&E side. And then from there, we still have the design of the actual facility and then the construction and right-of-way in between if there's right-of-way that may be needed for the project.
Okay, all right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Mayor, may I ask, I'm really sorry, I just want
No.
to ask one really quick question. At the very beginning of your presentation, you said you're not looking at capacity.
Correct.
Have you all looked at capacity to know that you don't need that within the next 10, 20, 30 years?
Not as part of this project. We have
But is another arm of FDOT looking at that rather than having to come and retrofit later?
I can't answer you that because I'm not aware of any studies or any kind of feasibility study is being done to see what the traffic is out here on the layman itself. From our scope, and this PD&E study is strictly to accommodate pedestrian and bicycle activity. Obviously, we are doing a traffic analysis report that will, give you all the existing information, what's happening from the causeway side, and how many vehicles a year are going by it, but there's really no forecasting done from our side to determine if there's a need to add additional lanes or anything of that sort.
Thank you. And Commissioner Lama has joined us
okay.
through phone.
Does he have any questions? Commissioner Lama?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time listening, so I'll get with staff.
Okay.
So I'll discuss with staff, yeah.
All right.
I'll be there soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next.
We are at 4:14. I'm assuming we're okay to keep going? No objections? None?
No.
Okay. Next item.
Next item is 2J, audit presentation for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. I'm happy to announce that we've completed the fiscal year 2025 audit. There were no findings and an unmodified opinion. I want to give a special thanks, though, to the finance team and also our Assistant Finance Director, Natalie Obando. It's truly a team effort as far as the audit is concerned, as well as all the departments that assist us at year end. You each should have received a copy of the annual comprehensive financial report. And today we are joined by Elias, did I pronounce that right? Rodriguez. He's the audit senior manager with CBIZ. He led the engagement team that's responsible for conducting the audit. And Mr. Rodriguez will present an overview of the audit, key findings, and required communications.
Thank you.
So I want to take a moment to thank Tiffany for pronouncing my name correctly, which is, believe it or not, it's actually not a common thing. In Miami, it's easier, I mean, obviously, but I'm from Broward, and it never really happens. Anyways, as she mentioned, my name is Elias Rodriguez. I'm the senior manager that was working with the Sunny Isles audit for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2025. I'm here to present the annual comprehensive financial report.
You could just speak up a little bit.
Oh.
I know you're really tall, so it's...
Yeah, I know. I'm here to present the annual comprehensive financial report of the city for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2025. This should be on your agenda packet. I'm going to make reference to some pages. It is a big document. It's over 100 pages. I'm not going to go over every page, so just some key areas. The first area I would like to go over is going to be on page 1, and that's going to be the independent auditor's report. Now, there's 2 paragraphs I want to go over here that are key paragraphs, which are in your opinion section. The first paragraph pretty much answers the question, what did we audit? And we audited the financial statements of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and aggregate remaining fund information of the city of Sunny Isles for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2025. Following that paragraph is our conclusion on the audit, or in other words, the opinion. And just going to read it briefly. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the city as of September 30th, 2025. That is an unmodified opinion, otherwise known as a clean opinion, which is the highest regard that you can get for an audit. I want to congratulate Tiffany and her team for achieving that once again consistently, because it takes a lot of work. Following the financial the independent auditor's report, on page 4, you will find management's discussion and analysis. I tell this to everyone on my presentations, that if you're not going to read anything else in this report, definitely read this section. It spans from page 4 to page 15. It includes quantitative and qualitative information from one year to the next, discusses your budget, discusses capital assets and debt, and in addition to other information. So highly recommend you read this section. Immediately after the management discussion and analysis, we're going to get into the statement of your financial statements. The first one being the statement of net position, which is in essence a balance sheet, but just named different for governmental standards. And it's going to include your assets, deferred outflows of resources, liabilities, deferred inflows of resources, and the net of that is going to be your equity or net position, which for the year end, September 30th, 2025, you have $345.2 million. Following the statement of net position is your statement of activities, which is pretty much a profit and loss statement, just presented a little different because you're going to have your expenses on the top of the statement rather than on the bottom. And then you're going to have your program revenues in addition to your general revenues. Your opening net position was $337.8 million, and you had a positive increase in net position of $7.4 million, with an ending of 345, which agrees to your statement of net position. Okay. After the financial statements section, you'll have your notes to the financial statements, which that'll be on page 25. Now, the notes to the financial statements provides additional details and disclosures for significant items on your financial statements, which includes your capital assets, your pension items, and other disclosures that you would need. And I just want to skip through to the compliance section, which is where our reports are going to be. That's going to be on page 108. And on page 108, you're going to find the independent auditor's report on internal control or financial reporting and compliance and other matters. We're pleased to announce that there are actually no matters to report for this fiscal year. We don't have any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses for fiscal year 2025. Now, simultaneously with the issuance of the financial statements or the ACFR, we also provide a communications letter at the conclusion of the audit to those charged with governance, which is pretty much a report card of management's performance during the audit. We're pleased to announce we had no disagreements with management during the audit, and we had no difficulties at all during the audit with our dealings with management. And we want to thank Tiffany and her team for their efficiency and the responsiveness during the audit. It's a lot of work. I believe we started the audit in, was it October? In November. And it's reporting on previous year information, so it's a lot of work involved in an audit. So they did a very good job. Well, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So in your opinion, my lowering the millage rate to 1.7, did that have any negative impact on the city financials?
We weren't engaged to opine on that, but it could impact, it could reduce the revenues in maybe one line item. For additional details, what I would recommend is discuss with management because they would have a better answer for that.
Okay, but you said that we increased our net by $7 million.
Yes.
Okay, and the lowering of the millage rate would have only cost the city less than $2 million, or approximately $2 million.
I don't have that specific analysis,
well,
but multiple factors did play to increase the net position by 7.3.
Yes. So in any event, the city is in a better shape this year than last year.
Commissioner Joseph, that's not his purpose for being here. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Vice Mayor, did you have any questions?
Yes, you mentioned the report card.
The communications letter.
Okay, so is it an A+?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
A++.
A++. Commissioner Susan, any questions? Okay, thank you. I do want for clarification, because I know that we have a policy where we switch around the audit company. So is this your last year? It might, one more year. Okay, so we'll see you next, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. I know this is difficult, and I appreciate it. Thank you. We all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Mayor? May
Yes.
I? Yeah, I just wanted to say that for the members of the public, that's okay, thank you. I wanted to say thank you to the finance team. I'm not sure if the public knows, but for the record, we have 3 CPAs in our finance staff. We've won the Government Finance Officer Award for Budget Presentation the past 13 years. Our auditor, as you heard, is completely independent of anyone that works for the city. So I think if anything, this debunks a lot of the conspiracy theories about our budget and our spending. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you for that. All right. We're going to keep going, everyone? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Mauricio,
Okay.
next item,
We're
please.
now into discussions. The first discussion item that we have is 3A, discussion regarding town center park renovations.
Okay. Is that you, Deputy Manager?
If I may.
Please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, in October, or starting from October 24 budget fiscal year 24-25, the City Commission approved to have an agenda item to renovate Town Center Park. It kind of started with a conversation about the bathrooms being inadequate. Playground equipment is broken, in disrepair, has been far exceeded its lifespan of 15 years. It's been there since we opened it in 2008. And so we hired a consultant. We started the process, and we are now ready to present with you a concept so that we can take it to the next phase. The presentation does start with some existing conditions to just reaffirm why we need to have this project in here. You currently had budgeted in CIP $2.9 million. And this park, on average, we happen to have this cool thing we have, which is called Placer AI, which counts how many devices are in a park. So if a parent is there with a child, it's typically going to count one person. But consistently, we have over 100,000 people in the park year after year. And that's just one. So, you know, you show up with 2 children, that could be 3. So this is one of our most used parks, as I think you all have witnessed personally. And so it does get a ton of wear and tear, and it's a really important park to the community. So with that, I'd like to show you a couple of pictures and then invite up Sarah and David, who are going to walk you through their conceptual design.
Okay.
Vanessa, yeah, there you go. Thanks.
I just want to just clarify something, because I think you were incorrect with that date. You said 2008. I know that
6.
my 21-year-old used, I have pictures.
Okay.
When he was 1.
Oh, wow. Okay. So even longer.
Longer, yeah. Okay.
Thank you for
Yes,
that correction.
please. Thank you. Go ahead. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me. Sarah Landucci. I'm with Keith, one of the sub-consultants that worked on the design. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the history of how we got to the concept design. And these are just flipping through some pictures, right, Susan? Okay.
So Sarah,
Okay.
just go back a couple. That gazebo was added. It wasn't there when we first opened the park, but it again has
I think it was added in
outlasted.
2017. Something like that.
It is older than that, because I can tell you who was city manager whenever that was.
Okay.
Okay, great. So we all know where the park is located, highly visible area. One important thing to note here is on the bottom picture, that blue dashed circle is a 10-minute walk radius to the park, and we know that there's a lot of residents within that area. So the park is highly visited by pedestrians, people on bicycles and scooters. We wanted to highlight that. Some more of the existing photos, which we showed earlier. And with every project, we like to do a site analysis. And with this project, we're very familiar with the site. We actually worked with the city to develop the meditation garden that opened fairly recently. So some key things to note here, we're highlighting the vehicular circulation in pink and the pedestrian in blue here. It has a nice pedestrian loop around the park. The gazebo is highlighted with the red star. There's 2 entry points, one on the north side and one on the south side with the parking lot there. There's a large open space to the north. The bathroom is tucked away on the west corner, shown in with the purple star there. And then the playground, as we all know, sits right on Collins in the southwest corner. Some character imagery for the site that inspired us, that we worked with city staff to kind of hone in on designs that we like. I think one of the key elements here is a lot of the post and platform playgrounds that we see in the park today are trending away. And I think the reason for this is it limits the amount of creativity the child can have. It's pretty much an up and down type of activity. They go up, slide down a slide, climb up a ladder to get to the top. What we're seeing a lot in the park designs today is more sculptural, artistic types of playgrounds with lots of rope climbing, basket swings. You can see that in a few of the pictures here. Embankment slides are really fun use of elevation change and provide a way for kids to be creative in how they get up to these play structures. The bottom middle picture is DC Alexander Park. We just completed that project last year. It's on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and we actually were able to meet with city staff there to talk through the design, show them the custom playground that was designed there. It's a lot of rope structures. There's a large embankment slide. It has a big ADA accessible ramp to get up to the top there. It's a really fun park. It's on the ocean, so it has similar characteristics to what we have here at Town Center. We're also showing some misting areas, the bottom picture with the colorful archways, which provides a space to cool off, but it's also shown as a more artistic piece and iconic element to the playground there. So before I get into the details of the concept design, I want to give a little bit of history of this area. As you can see on the west side, there's a very large conservation easement. It's a protected natural area. So we wanted to honor that and bring that into the park space there with planting native and drought-tolerant plants, which also provide a lot of shade, which is very important to this area. We know from the surveys that the city conducted that shade was a priority, swing sets were a priority, and we definitely want to incorporate that throughout the park. The meditation garden has these eccentric circles shown throughout, so you'll see that in the overall picture. We wanted to tie those two in together and create this more modern kind of abstract design with these circles as the theme, which kind of odes to the ocean and the waves with these organic walkways throughout. So starting at the southwest corner where you see the number 1, that's where we're envisioning a very iconic plaza space, something that's very memorializing for the city. And this plaza is at the corner of Collins, so a very highly trafficked area. We're envisioning this area to be open, not fenced off, so with some seat walls, monument signs, just a gathering space for people to hang out in and decide which direction they're going, just a nice shaded area. And then that diagonal promenade that leads into the park, that will be where the gate starts to enter the playground. So along that promenade, a shaded walkway that leads you into another smaller plaza space with movable furniture. You can see one of the big moves here is moving the restrooms, apologies, from the west corner to more of a prominent location on Collins Avenue where number 5 is. Yes, number 5. And that is a restroom building, which David will speak more into, but has an incorporated shade structure with some furniture. And then as you're heading into the play space, there's a large specimen tree with some integral seating for parents to hang out in the shade or children. And then in the large blue circles, 8, 9, and 10, this is where we're envisioning different levels of play from ages 2 to 5, 5 to 12, swing sets, the embankment area with the contours on the north side there. I know it doesn't look like there's shade in there, but that's because the equipment has not been chosen yet. This is very conceptual level design. So once we get to that point, we will discuss integral shade structures, fabric shade structures to that space there, because we all know in the heat of the summer, if an area is not shaded, nobody's going to use it. So that's very important in the design. And then just north of the playground, number 13 there, is a more quiet picnic area. And we wanted to make sure that this playground wasn't just for children with kids, that we have areas for seniors and people to go to that do not have children to seek a little bit of quiet shelter, have a picnic, and have a nice buffer between the playground there. We're also showing an open, flexible lawn, a place to kick a soccer ball or throw a frisbee, also a place for the city to program markets or whatever events they need to, a flexible space there. There's a maintenance facility in the north side, number 19. And then as you come down to the east there, we're keeping open that pedestrian access. So the main access will be at number 1, but also on the north side, there'll be an access point there with another shaded plaza space. And at either of those accesses, we'll have bike and scooter parking to make sure that you have a place to drop your bike and then enter the playground. And then just south of the building at number 11 is an exercise equipment area. And then number 12 is where we're showing that fun Mr. art sculpture down that pathway that leads you into the playground. This design also incorporates a larger parking lot with about 10 more additional spaces. So in closing, we think the concept really represents a thoughtful and forward-thinking investment for the city. It strengthens Town Center Park's role as a civil anchor by creating a safe and engaging environment for all residents. So we think it's not just a playground upgrade, but it's a community asset designed to serve residents for today and the future. Happy to answer any questions, or we can go to David to talk about the building as well.
Thank you. Why don't we start, let's talk about the building and then we'll do the questions after.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Shawari. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks for having me. That's right. So the building, like Sarah mentioned, has been moved to a more prominent location in the park. Right now, it's kind of in a corner. So it might actually be too small for the park right now. So we are basing our new design on a new prominent location. So the building is obviously going to be pleasing to look at. So we are planning now for an occupant load of around 300 to 400. I think that's where we last talked about. So we've got 3 stalls per men and women, and the entire building is covered with a canopy, so folks can come in from the sun in the mornings and in the rain in the afternoons. We'll also have drinking fountains here. We had talked about a little bit of storage space, so maybe that will come in later on. But really, it's just a place to come and get out of the elements, get some shade, use the facilities. Right now, we're planning on just simple reinforced masonry construction, concrete roof. There was some discussion about a green roof. I'm not sure where that's at right now, but that can be accommodated. It's also, I'm showing 2 different options here. The one up top is a more standard stucco finished building. The bottom version is a metal panel building that's camouflaged with different colors to match the lush landscaping the park will have. And then some very nice outdoor furniture that can be moved and moved around. So that's where we're at now. If there's any questions.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to start? Commissioner Stevenson, do you have questions? Commissioner Joseph, do you have questions?
I have no questions.
I'll start then.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor.
I really like the addition of trees. I mean, shade is definitely needed. Like we've even talked about and authorized like extended summer hours just because during the day it gets so hot that families don't enjoy it, and so then they come back at night, and so we try to deal with the heat that way. And you know, we've had whatever, I forget what they're called, those tarps or like those
Shade sales?
those. I'm sorry.
The shade sales?
Yes, the shade cells. But really, I really like the idea of just adding trees and having that kind of shade, and it's, I like that a lot. I'm wondering, and maybe this is just something that occurred to me sitting here, have we considered like having a separate entrance for the meditation garden? Or you're looking at the space as one?
Right now, I'm looking at the space as one.
Okay.
Sarah's got the site design.
Yeah, we've looked at the site as one. We do have, you know, that's why we created that large specimen tree in that corner to kind of separate that area to make it a little bit private, and that is gated, but right now we're not considering a separate entrance only.
And it's the same bathroom, right, for both spaces?
It is,
Okay.
yes.
And I think that this is, I mean, we can try to accommodate adults, but I mean, that's why we added the meditation garden with that idea. I don't see this becoming anything other than a kid park. This is very heavily used by families, but we carved out that corner, you know, so, I mean, I like it. I'm just, those are just my 2 cents, and the extra parking is definitely needed, so.
Okay. Commissioner Lama, you have questions?
Yeah, can we go back to the actual drawing of what is proposed of the park with the different numberings there for each of the components? Yeah, okay. Give me 1 second here. So yeah, I like the trees. I like this. Now, I would like to, you know, I'll have to take a look at the measurements, really to take a good look at this, but when my kids were small, they used to utilize this park a lot, right? I think this is like the park that is obviously gets used the most in the city. What I don't see though is, and again, I would like to look at the measurements of some of these circles here. I like to see an area where the kids can run, because right now, what is happening or used to happen is that some kids used to play soccer, they run around. So I just want to make sure that there's an area, you know, especially for the demographic, the age of the kids that go there, they love to run. So I just want to make sure there's enough space for them to run around until they get tired and they go to sleep.
Yeah.
And we could rest, yeah.
Definitely, that's important to get that exercise. We're envisioning 14 as that space in the top right corner as our open lawn.
Okay.
We do buffer that with the playground, with the planting, but if maybe we create some kind of easier connection to get to that, so you can run back and forth from the playground to the open area, we can look at incorporating that into the design.
Yeah, and another thing is that, for instance, some older kids used to go there and take a soccer ball, and then the families with the younger kids used to complain. So I would still like to have, you know, some sort of, you know, space where the older kids or the kids that want to, you know, play with a soccer ball or something, they could be there, and without hurting the babies, let's say, that go to that park.
Right.
Because that was an issue too, back in the day, when I didn't have to wear glasses. So yeah, I would like to see that too.
Okay.
Maybe in a yellow space could have some sort of separation or something where, you know, you could say, hey, if you want to play with a soccer ball, go here.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we can also look at maybe making that space a little bit larger. We have, you know, 3 picnic areas that we're showing there, so maybe that gets reduced and we can grow that lawn space to create more room for that.
And to the point of the running, right now, there's like a track like that's around it. Are
Right.
we preserving that, or is that being chopped up by the?
We do still show the loop, but
There is
it's
okay.
not as direct as it is now. We have,
But it's,
you know,
if some kid wanted to like run laps
Yep.
there,
you can,
they
you
could.
can still circulate
Okay.
the whole area, yes.
And we're still gonna have the workout yeah, I see that workout.
Yeah, we
station.
centralized that into one location instead of being separated by two
Okay,
areas. So that's shown at number 11 there. So you could come into the site
yeah.
and just
Okay.
go to the workout station and leave. if
And that
that's what you
workout
need.
station is gonna have like the machines and the bars?
Yes, yep.
Yeah,
That
okay.
hasn't been chosen yet, but that's what
But that could be
is
designed.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And just another note, we are keeping the art Rising Horizons
Oh,
that
yes.
is located on number 17 on your diagram.
Mm. Yeah, Barney. Commissioner Stewart, did you have questions?
I have a few comments. So back in October 2024, two contracts were passed to two different companies for the design of this park. One of $51,250 to Rodriguez Architects for the renovation and the construction documents of the restroom. They were supposed to deliver all the documents in 10 weeks, which it was done technically by December 2024. Where are we with that?
That is this presentation, and we had not brought it to you yet until we had a more comprehensive plan and some more information.
Okay, so it took like 70 weeks instead of 10 to have it ready. Another question is another company also got awarded without a bid because we have a pre-contract apparently, $220,000. They were supposed to give us all the design in 10 months. That was August 2025. And right now, April 2026 is the first time, at least that I am seeing this. Not even for this meeting, I had the pleasure of having this in advance to be able to have my questions ready. So I'm seeing this for the first time right now, after apparently spending the city around $300,000 since October 2024. So I have another question. Let me check here. What is your timeline?
So just to answer some of those questions,
Yeah.
with that contract that's in place now, we were only directed to do the conceptual design phase, which is only one task of that 219,000. So that's what this is presented, and then we were put on hold to come back and wait for this opportunity to present it to you. So that's where we're at now, and then if we get the go-ahead, we can proceed right into schematic design and then construction documents and into construction. So we're ready to go when the city is ready.
Good. And how much of those $219,000 do we spend already?
For our contract, it was like 17,000 for the concept, I believe.
So
The first task. on
correct.
that.
So everything else, we still have the money there for
Correct.
the
Yep,
following step.
Correct,
Okay,
yep.
perfect. And once this gets approved, with whatever modifications, the timeline, when do you think it should be, or we should be starting the process of construction? And how long will it take? According to the contract, it was 4 years, so I don't know if that continue being the
Right.
same.
I mean, we'll have to go through permitting and approvals at the city level. Hopefully, we can do that within a year.
Correct, yeah. I think Sarah's got the bulk of the work. Architecturally, we can get this done in 6 to 8 weeks, up to construction drawings, up for bidding. Bidding usually takes about 4 weeks on average. Construction can take probably a year.
Okay. No, I don't have any other question for now.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph?
Nothing.
Okay, I have a few questions. I think every single one of us has had kids use that park extensively. So I'm going to speak from what I've heard and from my own personal you know, and it's been a while. So as far as the shade, one of the things that was very frustrating that I heard for over and over is during hurricane season, we would have to take it down. And that's when it's the hottest. So if there's any opportunity to create like natural canopies, I know that often it has to grow into that, but I'm thinking about like the Meridian Avenue in South Beach, Miami Beach, that like covers the entire, you know, street, something along those lines. Swings, if there's any opportunity to add like literally swings everywhere, it's huge for this communities, the swings. To Commissioner Lama's point, you know, the number 14, something that continues to come up is that we don't have enough areas to play soccer. So I don't know. I know this is concept. So just to consider how much of our community uses, you know, soccer fields. And I know that this primarily is probably, and correct me, Susan, if I'm wrong, more of a 0 to 10 years old area, probably. Not necessarily, the teens aren't using it, and
we're really trying to
keep it to the little kids.
Redevelop parks instead of having the same thing in every park.
Right, make it specific for that age.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So to my point, and I know that maybe, you know, my colleagues disagree, but like the exercise equipment, I think that we're trying to do too much. Like we're trying to add something for everyone, and you know, I think that was put in originally many, many years ago because we had a community of seniors that was using it, but now we have a lot of senior programming that allows for them to move around. So that's, from my end, a consideration to either take it out completely or potentially find a place in the meditation garden for it. The same thing with the picnic tables. I think that area in the meditation garden is completely underutilized. And if there's even a way, to Vice Mayor's point, to allow for a separate entrance so that it's clear that that is for, you know, the adults. I'm very glad that the bathroom is going to get upgraded. I'm not sure that I agree with the central location of it. It seems to have a very central, you know, place. And I mean, it's a restroom. So I think that if anything, that's where I would potentially, you know, the very cool pictures that you showed of, you know, the water feature or whatever that was, I think that the restroom could be moved, you know, to the side. But definitely we need more stalls for that. And whatever it is you come back with as far as design, I know it's not possible because we live right on the ocean, but the most, you know, least corrosive kind of materials, so that we're not forcing commissions after us to have to keep paying for upkeep. I think that's, I mean, I know it's still concept, so, but thank you. It's a long time coming.
Let me piggyback. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Vice
thank you.
Mayor.
So thinking ahead and thinking regarding Heritage Park that we might look to redevelop at some point, I would like to see the memorial wall at Heritage Park move to the meditation garden in order to free up Heritage Park for other projects.
Okay, Vice Mayor, did you have anything?
Yes, just to keep this in mind, with regards to the exercise equipment, I don't know who uses that. I mean, maybe it is used. I just don't know who does. I think kids jump on it just because it's there, but they're not. So I don't know if it's intended for adults or not. But we are going to have some at the sports court.
Right.
So we're already going to have some exercise equipment at the sports court. So I think if we're looking for wiggle room, that might be a good thing to look at. But I would ask that you keep the pull-up bars because those are popular.
Okay. Is this the only rendering that you guys have, or you have more details?
This is all we have for right now.
That's it?
Yes, for the concept.
Okay.
But if I may, the reason for that is because, you know, time is money. So we did not want them to come with a bunch of different options and then still have no consensus.
Right.
So based on this conversation, I do have a couple of follow-up questions.
Sure.
As far as the restroom and its location, it's because it's combined with a seating area and kind of a pavilion, sort of like Sampson Oceanfront Park, so that So do you like that concept? Do you
I
not like that concept?
Don't, because I think that it invites people that are not really looking to use the park for the purposes of the playground. So I don't. I'd rather it be separated out.
So how do you feel about a covered pavilion then? Because the gazebo that's rusted and rotting is going away. So do you still want?
I think we need something covered because has seating, because I think a lot of obviously the parents, the nannies, the grandparents specifically, use that area. And this is just, and I'm not suggesting you put in the design, but just something to consider. I know that the gazebo has sort of been used to corral the little kids so that they don't run off. So I know that people have used it for that purpose.
So at Heritage, we have a covered pavilion that's separate from the restrooms completely. So something like that concept works better. And then the playground that they are proposing, as you notice, it's kind of recessed so that they are corralled in a more natural way. Is that a good way to put it? So I'm hoping that this, if you like this concept, it'll kind of resolve that corralling problem as well.
Have you gone to the park?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Just
we've
want to
been
make
there
sure you've
multiple
seen
times.
it. Okay.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very important to see how it's being used and, yeah, okay. What was your other question? Well, let me have everyone else.
No, I was trying to, you brought up Heritage, and I was trying to envision Heritage, because aren't the bathrooms at Heritage with
They're
the
part of the
seating?
garage.
Oh, so that seating in the middle, it's not bathrooms? It's
No.
water fountains.
There's not even a water fountain.
Or
The
just
water
seating.
fountain
Just
at
storage.
Heritage, it's just a little storage room.
With the tables around.
Storage.
Oh, I thought it was, yeah, but
Right
the
in
bathrooms
between
are
the
in the
two
garage.
play
Okay.
areas.
I don't love that area.
Okay.
And then the water feature is there, so
Yeah.
you can kind of watch everything at the same time.
Okay. So water fountains are good. Okay.
And then the number of restrooms, that was one of the things that we heard from you all and the public was more of them. So dedicating space to that. And then one of the important concepts of this and the location of it, which we can certainly move, was kind of getting the play and all the activity away from the busy Collins Avenue and kind of buffering it with buildings and things like that. So.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. And then, since Commissioner Joseph brought it up, how do others feel about moving the memorial wall? Because if we're doing that, that's quite an endeavor that we would need to.
But hold on, I have a question regarding that. I thought if we're gonna do a community center, I thought we were talking about Pelican. Not,
We are.
I think Heritage was previously.
That's
So-
Heritage, we're talking about redoing it for tennis courts and other. We only use Heritage now once a year, basically for Veterans Day. We can make much better use of that space. And by moving the memorial wall to the meditation garden, this is the perfect time to do it. It's forward-thinking, and that's the right thing to do for a heritage project in the future. If we leave the memorial wall, then it's just in the way, and it causes us to not be able to use that park in any proper manner.
Yeah, but the memorial wall it's a wall. I don't know how, I mean, it's not taking up space in the sense that if you want to put tennis courts or whatever you want to put in the middle and the area, you could still do it. I mean.
But also, for Veterans Day, the town center is also a more centralized area for Veterans Day. And you would have a lot more people attending.
Yeah. I mean, let's stick to this, to this discussion item. We could discuss heritage and the memorial wall later, but
well,
I just have, going back to town center, I think we should keep some exercise equipment in there. Yeah. And regarding the memorial wall, I don't know. I mean, It's a wall, Jerry, so I don't know how, it's not in the middle of the park in Heritage, so
It's,
you can still have your tennis
it's the,
courts there.
but it's the use of the park. You would have more people attending at Town Center Park for Veterans Day even.
I just don't see how that's relevant here.
Well, it's a matter of
we're not
redesign.
really
Yeah.
discussing, we're not really discussing heritage. Like, nobody's talking about tennis courts or anything about heritage. I think it's fine. I don't want, and we finally have a meditation garden. It's nice. I think, leave it.
But there's plenty of room there for the wall. It doesn't make, and
The
it's
wall
being,
doesn't need to be
the
moved
area's
right
being
now.
redesigned. So,
Okay, well, obviously I disagree.
but it's just forward thinking. We're doing a redesign of a park. Why would you not consider everything? It's in being
It's not
open-minded.
that I'm not considering it, it's that I don't like it. I've considered it, I don't like it.
What were your other questions, Susan?
I'm sorry, I just want to go over so that they have some direction
Sure.
of where we're going from here. So we're going to reduce some of the picnic area to make a greater lawn area. We will consider relocation of the restroom area, include solid covered, not fabric covered, seating area. I need to know where you're gonna land on the exercise equipment. Definitely more swings and some kind of corralling area, which I think we have incorporated. Everybody's good with the additional parking, using some valuable park space from our parking.
Yes.
Yep.
And having multiple entrances like we do. I mean, right now we have two that, you know, the north one makes me very nervous, but the way they've redesigned it here, it's set back from Collins Avenue and the sidewalk is wider, so I think that's okay. Is there,
So with the parking, adding the parking, is that inviting people to park there and go to the beach?
we can definitely enforce the parking so that it doesn't turn into beach parking.
Right, that's a concern. With the exercise equipment, I support having like the pull-up, the stationary exercise equipment that they use for pull-up.
The bars and all of that.
I'm
yeah.
talking about the other odd.
The ones that are around the perimeter of the park.
ones around the perimeter is the ones that I think don't
Yeah.
get used. But as far as the pull-up bars and the sit-ups and those, I think that they absolutely do get used.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
I've seen like some older people when they walk in the morning kind of do that kind of circuit with the equipment,
Right.
the push-up thing and whatever, but yeah, I don't think it gets used to.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, that's what I'm saying. I think encouraging more use of the meditation garden and leaving this area really for the little kids. Okay,
And you like the concept of the misters, because nobody commented on misters.
what's misters?
The misters.
Oh, misters.
yeah.
I thought you
I'm
were
sorry.
naming, yes.
No, in the
No,
summer,
no,
that's
absolutely.
absolutely
The
agree.
more water features, the better, as many as possible. Yeah. How much does Barney cost us to maintain?
To maintain, right now, he hasn't cost us so much.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the misters.
Yes,
So these are the fans that spray and spread the water?
No, if you look on this,
See the arches?
the
What
bottom,
type of misters?
right,
Do you see the
Right there,
pink,
right there.
those
Look
pink
at- look at
arches?
the,
You see
the
that?
third picture at the bottom.
Okay, so they're spraying from the arches.
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay,
You missed.
all right.
yes,
So
what we
any-
currently have in the gazebo has
Yeah.
never worked well.
Right. So any orifice where the water is coming out, that will be stainless steel?
Yes, definitely.
I like it more like the picture next to it, that have more like water, more blue, more beach style. And yeah, and about the misters, yeah, as much water features as possible, good. The bathroom location, yes, it looks very odd where it is right now. It looks in the middle. The location where it is currently, I think it looks is good. Also, if you see in the concept plan, the entrance by the vehicles is a little bit scary. First, it doesn't connect with the sidewalks, so there is not like a continuous loop. And also, the kids can go there to the cars, and you can, it's hard to look at them. So that location there for the bathroom without that entrance and connecting the sidewalk to the other side to make it a loop, it will be better. So yeah, I don't like the location of the bathrooms at all. If you have multiple kids, it is where to spread to be able to look at both of them at the same time. Again, the sidewalk is not connecting. The exercise, which is mainly used by the adults, in my opinion, should be almost at the entrance of the meditation garden, so you have that north side more for the adults, and they can use also the north entrance. Yeah, I do believe clearly more swings are needed and more water features, yeah, as well. About having a long area like number 14, I don't think that we need such a big lawn area due to the fact that we have West Margolis and we have also the playground, here in Pelican Park, like big, and also in Heritage and also in Gateway. So this is very small and we try to do too much in such a little space. So that lawn area, if we can put more water features instead of having it, my kids, they play soccer, so and they will never go play soccer in town center as it is right now. We will go either to Gateway, we will go to Pelican, or of course to West Margolis. So this is not even an option for soccer, for the real soccer players. So I will completely almost minimize as possible the lawn area just to be able to put more water features.
I absolutely support water features. I mean, if we could make the whole thing a water park, but that's a different story. One thing that Commissioner Stevison brought up that made me realize we have, and this could be again because of the elements, but we have repeatedly had instances where the gates have some sort of issue with locking or closing. So whatever new designs are available so that they can automatically, shut, or so that, because people just tend to leave them open. Whatever the new design is, it's really important because, like, since you've seen it, there are just so many kids and they do run around on their own, and that is an issue of them being able to run off into where the cars are. Okay, is there more questions?
I think we're good. You guys are good?
Mayor, I
I
have
have one question, sorry. So your design, when do you expect to have more finalization on your design? I know you're going to have one additional input in the future, correct?
Sure.
Yes. So what is the time frame, do you think?
We can do 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks from now.
So we'll plan for the June commission meeting. We'll bring back the next
June, the next phase.
next phase to you in
So,
June.
Yeah, so how many phases are you expecting before we
Well, I think once,
have a
next it
go-ahead?
would be a schematic.
Yes.
Okay, refining this, and if we have consensus from that, then they'll get right into construction drawings.
Right, so, so finalization probably January, probably.
We'd probably be out to bid by then, and yes, that's reasonable.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. City Manager had something to add.
Mayor, would you consider the possibility of moving the sculpture so we can capture that area?
I would, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody have an objection to moving the sculpture?
Barney?
No.
Yeah, that it takes up a lot of the area, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last thing, just consider seating area for the parents or the adults kind of in the middle or where is the playgrounds are going to be. So like I said, if you have multiple kids with you and one is in the swings and another one is in the slides or whatever, there is an area where you can be as an adult and be able to look at everything at the same time. Same with the entrance, to the exit and entrance, that you can see from where you are. I know it's really complicated and it sounds easy, but just thinking ahead of parents with multiple kids, small kids, that, like I said, they are going to be everywhere and you want to be able to see them.
Definitely. We do have that incorporated throughout the playground, integral seating, so we know how important that is.
Thank you.
I had one question about the open lawn, because it seems to be some mixed reviews on that. Do we want to have an open space here?
I changed my mind. I think that keeping it to that age group and keeping it, so that we're not to the deputy manager's point, and to Commissioner Susan, not trying to do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's other uses, specifically water.
Yep.
Feature uses.
Yeah, because like you said, it is a tight area to have a lot of programming. So if we don't want to keep that open lawn, we can use it for other play elements.
All right.
Look
Thank you.
at Founders Park in Aventura.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just also like
They
to
have a lot of
reiterate
running space.
that we're looking
They
to
have a
not
bigger
have the
place, but-
restroom that predominant.
They can run that gateway.
We had,
Take around on
we
the
had it in the
street.
corner, we moved it, we'll put it
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, okay, so we are at 5:10. We have quite a few items, all right, next, is everyone okay to keep going?
Yeah.
Good.
All right, next item.
Next
Mauricio?
one is 3B, a discussion regarding a request for waiver of the sponsorship requirements.
Okay. Commissioner Joseph?
Sorry. Yes, okay, so we have the Miami-Dade League of Cities. Hold on. Yes, so Miami-Dade League of Cities, we're looking for sponsorship by the city.
Okay,
Is that it? So,
does anyone have anything to add? I'm not in favor of waiving the sponsorship because I think we have the process in place for a reason. But that's just my personal opinion. If we wanted to buy single tickets to the event, I think we should. But ultimately, $5,000, I'm not sure about the municipal purpose of it.
okay, I don't think they really need us, so.
Right.
Okay, so then I just brought it up, so we'll buy just separate tickets then.
I mean, unless anyone feels strongly about sponsoring it.
Hold on, we have sponsored in the past, and what has been the process? Have we waived it in the past? I mean, if I
We didn't
recall
have-
correctly, we.
Have a deputy manager answer that.
You didn't have this process last year.
Oh, okay, okay.
It got
yeah.
approved after that.
All right. So the league is not gonna obviously fill all of this out. I mean, it's a-
Correct, they are not, which is why there was the request to waive it.
Yeah, but I think that if we would like to sponsor something, and I don't know.
I don't know, my point is, I don't know the municipal purpose of sponsoring this. If we want to be there as a city to support, we can buy individual tickets if they're selling them, but they're not, they don't seem to have a dire need for the sponsorship. They have plenty of sponsors.
No, I understand that.
So I'm not sure what the purpose of it would be, besides just writing them a check.
I'm okay waiving it.
It's supporting the Miami-Dade County League of Cities,
I-
which clearly serves a municipal purpose. However, I think we just have to plan better. That we have the process, we should follow the process. But to me, the municipal purpose is clear.
Have we, okay, maybe the paperwork, I mean, I'll have to take a look at the paperwork. Did they tell us flat out that they were not gonna fill out our paperwork? What was the nexus for this?
Mr. City Manager, did they say they won't fill it out?
We didn't ask them to, but you all established a process for any sponsorship.
Right.
So the sponsorship dollars would be 5,000. So in order for us to move forward, either you would have to direct us or they have to fill out the process and then go through that for your approval.
So
Right.
maybe they are willing to fill it out.
If they're willing to fill it out, then I think then we,
Yeah, the what?
The event
How do we know?
It's in May.
They would have to fill it out and it would have to come to you as a resolution, and that would have to be tonight to make it
Okay.
in time for the event.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm okay waiving
All
it
right, so
for this
maybe for
time.
next, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay waiving it for this particular, event, but, moving forward, we'll just have to make sure that, we send out the paperwork. I mean, if they're trying to get our money and, they're trying for us to buy a sponsorship, I don't see why they should not be willing to fill something out for money.
Well, I think they sent an email, right, requesting the sponsorships and but, it just stayed in our inbox. You know what I mean? So they don't know what every city's
I
process
understand,
is.
I understand.
Right, but to my point is that if we have the process in place, especially Miami-Dade League of Cities has the resources to fill out this paperwork. If we're having smaller organizations who are looking for donation and we're forcing them to fill it out, it's only fair. Now, I mean, I see that there's a consensus to waive it, so I'm speaking for just in general, the concept was that we wanted to make it consistent for everyone.
I think we have to do this, especially something like this, which is the leagues, like we've done with the proclamations, where we just set them out in advance, the ones that we know, and then
exactly.
Pelican Harbor, there's stuff that we want to sponsor, and just structure
Plan it
that.
out ahead.
Plan it out ahead, because otherwise then we're stuck in this situation.
Well, then I think it needs to go into the budget. That's the way it needs to.
But it's all, we already have a budget for, a budget for the sponsorships.
I believe, I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
interpreting what you're saying, is that through the budget process, which we're in right now, is you identify now, we put it in as a line item in the budget, and then you don't necessarily go through the process, but it's in that line item of the budget.
So it gets removed from the
Sponsorships.
total amount, which is, remind me please, it's
20,000 in total.
20,000, we've.
10,000 this year.
10,000.
Is what you had this year, yes.
Okay.
We started off at 20 when we reduced it
to 10.
That's not what I was thinking. But I guess I'm confusing the budget piece. But I was just thinking, just like we say, okay, these are going to be the proclamations, I can always take it off the agenda. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the proclamation on whatever this year. So if we can just plan ahead, whatever, January, and we say, okay, these are the 3 that we're willing to sponsor, that we know we're willing to sponsor proactively, right? Then we can reach out to them and say, hey, you're on our sponsorship list, but this is what you need to jump through these hoops. They still have to go through our process.
Okay, so you still want the process, you just want to reach out to them.
We spent so much time developing the process.
Agreed.
So I think we should use it, but we shouldn't expect everybody to know what our process is.
Agreed.
So if we know that there's things like the league, the ones that we are definitely on board with, right? The league, the Pelican Harbor, and whatever, maybe the Florida leagues, whatever it is, the stuff that we normally do, that can be a proactive thing that's on our to-do list, that we let them know. The commission has approved, wants to sponsorship, but this is our process. If you want our money, fill this out, and thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Can we move something around, because we have someone waiting in the audience to hear one item?
What would you like to move?
I'd like to please move 3E as being next.
3E.
Do we have a decision on this item?
I think there's consensus to waive it, right? I'm the only no.
It will come
I'm a
before you
no
tonight as a
Oh.
resolution then.
Okay.
So 3 yes to waive, okay. All right, 3E, all right, I just want to point out that we do have some items on here that have been on here before. So,
They've been on because it was left open.
no, I understand, but I just want to make sure that we're following the rules, because, Vice Mayor had to wait 3 months to put on an item. But
What is
I don't have any objection going to 3E if everyone else is okay with.
They're all mine, so I'm just asking to move.
3E,
Change
yes.
the order.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I had many residents contact me. I wasn't aware that there had been an agreement by the city manager to allow the Bentley to work in extended hours. So I'm just trying to understand, and I brought this forward for residents who didn't want to contact the city manager directly. They went through me, so I'm just doing this on their behalf to question the validity of having 24/7 construction.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, I want to just read for the record the item as the commissioner presented it. It's a resolution blocking the city manager sole discretion regarding the approval of extended hours for the Bentley. So that's the item. So I'm asking,
Okay.
is it your intention to block the Bentley from extended hours?
No, I was just questioning the process and also possibly some type of modification as to the residents that are near. Actually, the noise extends throughout the city, but it's predominantly more on the north side, to somehow reasonably, modify, not to stop the allowance of extended hours, but maybe to modify the hours somewhat, take a look at it. Let's put it this way, to see what's reasonable and, at the city manager's discretion, maybe to take another look at the hours.
This
That's all I'm
says
saying.
blocking the city manager.
Since the hours are Saturday and Sunday work hours, during hours when people would expect peace and quiet. And, so I'm asking for it to be a second look to be taken at the hours.
You received
Not to stop construction on those days, but to maybe by an hour or two, during the later hours, to maybe take a look at it.
Okay, you received a complaint and I asked you to forward to me and you explained that you would handle it yourself.
No, I did not say
is
that.
this-
I said
okay.
that the reason these people who complained to me had your number, they chose not to go through you, to go through me because they wanted to remain anonymous regarding any type of backlash.
Okay, because the resolution says to block the city manager. So Mayor,
No.
I'm a little
What
bit
is-
confused.
I'm getting confused too.
That
Let's
was
start
a
over. What,
typo.
Commissioner Joseph, can you just please
My
clarify?
intent was not to block it. It was to reasonably modify it as to the later hours.
Okay, so then would you decide what the hours should be?
Would I?
Because you're suggesting
No,
that my
I'm
discretion
asking-
be blocked.
No, I'm removing the word blocked. I'm asking for it to be taken a second look at as to reasonable hours.
Okay. Any comments from the commission?
Oh, what are the hours right now? What is the definition of extended hours? And what are regular hours and what are extended hours? City manager.
The regular hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5 on Friday, and 9 to 5 on Saturday.
And how about Sunday?
Nothing. And what are the extended hours?
Sorry, isn't there a Sunday included?
No, there's,
Regular, there's no Sunday.
and the extended hours are
Currently,
what?
we've allowed modified hours to include deliveries, so it varies throughout the day, but it also includes Sundays.
Okay, so it includes Sundays and it goes beyond 7 p.m.
Correct.
How beyond?
Until 11 in some cases.
Okay. So, because if we're gonna, you bring it up, then we need to know what the universe looks like what are we comparing, extended or whatever. And what are the pros and cons? Why have extended hours?
Every project that's been built on the east side has had extended hours, including the building next door to this site, which is the Turnberry. So over the period of 3 years, they had extended hours, which include work 7 days a week. So
7 days a week.
the purpose of that, one of the main reasons in us looking at this and extending it was the original proposal was for a month or more lane closure. So in order to avoid a lane closure, which would affect all of the residents, we allowed for modified construction in the evening. And it's been, for me, a significant success. I've received 2 complaints since the construction has started, and then I checked with the police department, and we've received 1 complaint over the past year. If we modify this, we're going to have to allow for a lane closure, which could potentially block traffic throughout the city. The way I explain it to the neighbors associating the project is the overall goal is to shorten the length of time of the project. So if you vary the construction hours now and strictly go by the schedule, which would be an exception to how we've built every building on the east side, you have the potential.
That's not what I'm asking for.
Okay. You have the potential of extending construction from 6 months to a year. So the idea is to get the project done as soon as possible with minimal disruption to all of the residents. I understand there's a disruption to the neighboring properties, but this is how I explain it to all of the associations.
Okay.
Okay. And I would add that if you're, let's say we keep it right to the shorter hours, and so it's always being done during those same hours. Not everybody has the same schedule, and the people who work at night would go crazy because they would always be disrupted for an even longer period of time. And the soon, I don't know, I think it's been working. The sooner you get it done, the sooner it becomes a tax-paying property.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay.
Okay. Commissioner Lama?
Yeah, I have a question. I mean, I'm looking at the approval here, and it says January 2nd, 2026 to March 31st, 2026. So, I mean, all of this is over. Did we extend this?
No, it's extended.
It's been, okay, I'm looking at, the document that is here in the agenda. And then, I mean, some of the times, Monday through Saturday, 2 a.m. to 11 p.m., I mean, that's basically working throughout the morning when middle of the night when people are sleeping. So, I mean, I think some of these times need to be reconsidered, especially if, if it's true that I haven't received complaints, but, I'm looking at a 2 a.m. to 11 p.m. and it's like, yeah, it's a little too much. And then you have a 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then you have Sundays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I mean, when somebody makes noise, and Sunday's the only time I could wake up late, it's really frustrating. So I think we need to take that into consideration. I'm not saying to delay the project, but, look at the times a little bit better. Yeah.
I haven't, during all of the phases of the construction, I've only received 2 complaints. So in terms of the late night hours, those are periods of time when the buildings are doing setup. They also have a 24-hour representative that we can call at any time if there's issues. But this enables the project to get done more expeditiously. So I'm concerned with any sort of modification, and I understand this. We look at it from the building official perspective and trying to do the best in terms of principles and practices of construction, because you're also going to have some significant deliveries that could potentially back up. So we're considering all of those factors when we allow these approvals.
And I agree with you in certain things. I mean, like, for instance, you have concrete delivery and concrete pour. I mean, I think we'll have to take each of these and see, do these create noise where obviously it reverberates and it wakes people up? I mean, I don't know. They might not. Crane jumps and additional makeup days. What are they exactly doing? Are they creating a lot of noise when they're doing, what's a crane jump?
cringe.
I think that the manager's point is that all of this is being considered, and so I don't feel like very comfortable analyzing any of this. That's why we have professionals to do that. And I'm with the Vice Mayor as far as getting this done as quickly as possible. I also have not had any complaints, and I live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I haven't had complaints, but I mean, I think if they're, depending on the scope of work, they need to be considerate,
Right.
you know, of the neighbors. So, you know, if they're doing work where they're not drilling, they're not making noise, then I'm okay with it. I'm just saying we need to get into the specifics. And at this point, I don't know what these, I don't know what this is. I mean, concrete delivery, I don't think it makes noise to deliver concrete, no? And that's fine, because obviously during the daytime, you don't want the lane to be blocked if they're delivering concrete. But I don't know what a crane jump is or additional makeup days. I don't know what they're doing. So I just need, I would like to know more information on it.
So the code under chapter 193 delegates that authority to the city manager.
Right.
So if you want changes to the hours, you would have to direct the city manager to do that.
May I say something?
Go ahead.
We
I mean,
have
I'm
a
not-
construction now that we just approved, 64-story building
Yeah.
between Armani and Ocean 2. So you have those buildings that are going to be under this same issue, where you have reverberation between these two buildings, and you're going to have no peace
Yeah.
for a lot of people during that construction. So I know that people on the south end of the city don't hear the noise, but there is a lot of noise.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know what's happening. I haven't heard complaints. You mentioned reverberation, but I don't know if they're drilling or what
Well,
they're
when
exactly
you-
doing
when
at
you-
that time. If
after
they're
you-
setting up,
Right now,
delivering stuff, it's
right
okay.
now, they're pouring for height on the tower. So you frame the rebar in wood, okay? And then after the pour, that holds the concrete in. And then after the pour, you have to bang off the wood because it's stuck by the concrete, okay? And that banging off of the containment material makes a lot of noise.
Yeah. Okay, so I would just direct the
Mayor.
city manager to, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, sir, go ahead.
I would just direct the city manager to, you know, obviously be monitoring the situation. And if there's
Well,
noise,
The
that
city
is.
manager doesn't live in the city.
Well,
He's
no, well,
far
I'm not
away.
saying the
He
city
doesn't
manager, I mean his staff, Jerry.
Well-
I mean, let's,
Yeah, I
Okay.
monitor it 24 hours a day.
All right, so.
So,
I'm
Mayor,
asking for a
Mayor, I
large
just wanted,
modification.
Yes, please,
I
go
wanted to
ahead.
make one more point. A number of years ago, to eliminate things like this, the state statutes regarding code enforcement were revised to state that we do not accept anonymous complaints. So I don't know who the anonymous complainant is, but I've only received 2 complaints. And
yeah.
construction is ongoing. We've not affected traffic on Collins with this significant construction project. And I would say that this is actually, so far, a good model for construction going forward. They have a good neighbor agreement with the neighbor next door. They've been advised of all of the construction hours. I've spoken to some of them, as well as the manager. So I'm not advocating, I'm just saying we consider all of these factors in these approvals, including we're only approving them 3 months at a time.
Right.
And so there's also a clause that if there is a significant issue, I have the ability to revoke those hours. But so far, through a number of these projects, we've worked well together. Any issues I've had, to Commissioner Lama's point, including late in the night or early in the morning, we've required a 24-hour representative that I can make a phone call and have it rectified.
Okay. All right, all right. It's 5:32. Are we okay to keep going? We're gonna. So, all right, let's go one by one and see how many we can. Go ahead.
So the next one
Okay.
that we have is 3C, suitable locations for car carriers.
Yes, so we had this on last month, we spoke about it, and we need to have some type of resolution. Has anyone been delegated to look into it, Mr. City Manager? In
Mayor?
the past month?
Yes, please, go ahead.
We've brought the item back. You asked that it be brought back. We brought it back in the original form with the original locations. No one has offered us any additional locations.
Okay, so for me, I believe that for the south end of the city, it makes sense to have the yellow marked area on North Bay Road, which is a wide enough area for a semi, as the staging area for that part of the city. We have to then just resolve a place for the north end.
The three locations are North Bay Road. So which specifically you are talking about? We have the three of them are North Bay Road.
Yeah, so on North Bay Road, down by Plaza of the Americas.
Nope.
Okay, 16900. Okay.
It's the widest area, and you have the median, yellow marked median, which would be the staging area. It's safe, and I believe that's a sensible area to have that, the pickups.
Okay,
There are really
so
not a lot of places in the
I
city.
disagree.
Yes.
Well,
Okay. And this is my take on it, Jerry. I think if you pick a spot, we do get the car deliveries, but they're not every day. So if you pick a spot, you're going to disproportionately affect that, whatever area it is, whatever spot is chosen. So I think it's better not to have a resolution. And that way, the problem is distributed. And if it happens to happen in front of Plaza of the Americas, it happens in front of Plaza of the Americas. But if you turn that block into a truck stop, that's going to be very displeasing to everybody in that area. You have 800 units in Plaza of the Americas alone, plus Intracoastal, plus Porto Bellagio, plus Beach Place. All of those families, all of those people, their quality of life is affected if that's where you decide that all the trucks are going to come. Right?
There's not all those trucks. There aren't that many.
Exactly my point.
But when
there aren't that
is,
many. So when there is, and you
no.
designate, and they always come to the same spot, whether it's there or the front of your house,
But
nobody's going to
no.
want it.
If
Always
I
in the
had-
same
if
spot.
Let the vice mayor finish, so
Sorry.
we're
If
running
I
out
had
of
an area like that in the north end of the city, I would be happy to have the
I
trucks come
think
there,
the
but
front
we
of your
don't.
house is perfect.
Okay.
I think that road is perfect. There's very little traffic. There's,
Where is that?
houses in front of your house. So like that street right in front of your house. You can put a semi.
No.
There's
You're-
individual houses, so it's not a lot of families,
Yeah,
and you can
okay.
just drive around the truck with
No,
no problem.
you-
But this is my point, Jerry. Like, you wouldn't want it in front of your house, and I wouldn't put it in front of your house.
But there is no median in front of my house that's
Whatever,
wide
there's
like
room. You
on
can
North
walk
Bay
around.
Road.
You can,
And anyway,
people
like
can
you
drive
said,
around
you're
it.
getting trucks there in any regard, and there aren't that many. But you
Exactly
still
my
have-
point. So then you
but
don't
you
need a
still have
resolution.
people transporting their cars from Porto Bellagio and
And Golden
Plaza of the
Shores.
Americas. They're not going to come to that area. We're going to look for a northern area as well for staging.
Well, my position is not to have a resolution and let it be
Well,
wherever it's gonna be.
Then it's haphazard, and it's just not, it makes no sense.
Then I want it in
and
Golden
doesn't
Shores.
solve anything.
I want it in Golden Shores.
So we cannot enforce right now because we don't have a location. And we have to pick a location so we can enforce. So I'm okay voting or giving direction for one specific location for this. Because that's the issue why we cannot enforce. And right now it's a free-for-all. They can do anything they want, whatever they want. So I'm okay picking one of the locations that we have consensus on.
Okay, Mr. City Attorney?
Yeah, you can enforce right now. We are doing enforcement with regards to parking and then certain citations that the police can get into, but the police can't do a whole lot, but we can through code enforcement. We're just limited on what we can charge based on Miami-Dade County regulations. So you can enforce right now, and they are. The location is just that if you want to create an ordinance where there's a violation of your ordinance in addition to the parking, That's the lack of enforcement, because you really have to give a location. But it's not like there's zero enforcement now. There is enforcement now.
Okay.
I think you're going to disproportionately negatively impact the people of wherever you put it.
How about if we look at it differently? How about if we look at it where certain, like, we pick spots where they cannot absolutely deliver cars? You know, I mean, it's like, because North Bay Road, they've been doing it in North Bay Road. I've seen them after hours doing it by the schools. So,
I think
you know,
everybody would
what we
want
wanna
that to be
avoid-
the area in front of their house is the place where they wouldn't want it to deliver.
Right.
No, I understand.
I vote North Bay Road. No, that's the area where we don't.
That's
want it.
just obnoxious.
That's my vote.
The problem with putting it there in North Bay Road by Plaza is that you have the problem with the intercoastal, which that entrance is problematic. There's a line that forms there with the cars. So, I mean, North Bay Road past the church, you know, around that area.
I think the
I've
solution
seen it
is
there. I
worse
don't
than the
see any
problem.
interruption. Huh?
The solution is worse than the problem.
There's no church on North Bay Road over by Porto Bellagio.
No, I'm saying past, you have Gwen Margolis Park.
That's not.
I'm
an
not talking
appropriate
about Porto
area.
Bellagio. I'm talking about North Bay Road on the other side.
Yeah, but that's not an appropriate area.
Listen.
They do deliveries there.
Well, we have to stop it, that's why. It's not
I
a
don't
safe
see,
area.
I haven't seen any interruption when they stop there. The cars just go around and.
They go
Yeah.
around, it's
And-
only a matter of time before there's an accident.
So the problem we have is that we don't have a consensus on the place.
Well, that's
It's the
why
same
it
problem we
keeps
had
coming
before.
back, because it's.
So let's get a
we
place.
need to require
Simple.
a resolution. That's why it comes back
I'm
every
okay,
month.
Yeah, I'm okay picking a place. And whoever's gonna get affected is gonna be affected. It is what it is.
I'm not in support of picking a place because I think that I agree disproportionately affecting one area of the city is just going to create a much bigger problem. I do not like it when they're in Golden Shores. It irritates me. I call the manager. It's bad. But at the same time, it's going to be then in front of somebody else.
So this is another.
So we got to
kick
pick
the
a
can down the
place
road.
Not a
where
kick the
there's.
can. This
You don't
is
have to pick anything.
this is
Yes,
not-
we have
You
to.
don't have to pick anything. You can leave it alone, and it is what it is.
All right, we'll deal with
We,
it.
we have rules and regulations for everything. This not because it affects you personally, doesn't make any sense.
It's not
We-
just
we-
me
we-
personally.
we-
It's-
yes,
it's
we-
the
we-
entire area.
we
You have
keep
hundreds of
giving,
families.
since I've been here, we keep passing laws and laws to restrict more of the will of the commission and giving it to the staff. So now that we can continue doing what we've been doing consistently, but it affects directly to one of the commissioners, now suddenly we don't want to do it. This doesn't make any sense. We pick a place, that's a place, it is what it is.
I don't think that's a fair statement. It's not affecting
Yeah,
one
right.
person in particular. There's a lot of people that live there. All right, so what do we need for this item?
Nothing.
It doesn't move, correct? Okay.
And
All right.
Mayor, just for point of clarification and procedurally, the item won't come up again next month? Because
No,
we
I-
don't have consensus,
No,
or is it
I
gonna
think
come
we
up
need to
every
stick to
month?
our rule of 3 months.
Well,
Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here, all night talking about the same things that we can't
all
come
right,
to
so
a
anyway.
consensus on.
We'll bring it up in January.
Okay,
That's not 3 months.
yeah.
Okay, next item is 3D enforcement and compliance of city ordinances.
Okay, so we have.
I'm sorry, 3D. Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so we have the same issue. We were supposed to speak about the dogs in the park and on the beach. Have we had anything with code enforcement regarding that issue since last month? It
Mayor?
was,
Yes,
I
please go
think
ahead.
the
We
entire
We discussed this
commission,
last month, so I'm not sure
What's
what
the
the question
question?
is.
there was supposed to have been code enforcement looking at how we could resolve the issue of dogs on the beach.
Remind me, please, we voted on an
You
item.
would- No, you actually were the one to say, let's bring it up next month. In the meantime, code enforcement will look into the dogs on the beach and how they can further regulate it and stop the dogs from
I think
going
we
on the
are
beach.
all agree that we've want to make sure that
Yes.
code is
so
looking into the
in-
dogs on the
So
beach.
what's occurred in the last month, that's why I brought it up again, because that's another issue that gets kicked down the road.
Mayor,
Mhm.
we do enforcement for dogs on the beach 7 days a week.
Okay, so
We've
this
been
was.
doing it, and we continue to do it.
So to include that in your report?
But I was told that.
It is included in my report.
Okay. I was told that we still have the same issue, so the reason for this discussion tonight was to find out what has changed from last month. We were supposed to get some type of report, but I guess it's not forthcoming. So,
It's in the.
should I bring it up again next month? Do we need another month to?
My
have
answer
code
would be the
enforcement
same
give us
next
a
month
report?
as it was last month, which is you get a monthly report. We do enforcement for dogs on the beach 7 days a week, and we're going to continue to do that. We have some challenges with the enforcement legally, and until that changes, we're going to continue with our plan. But
It was
we
actually
have
the
been
mayor.
actively
But we
enforcing
have,
it.
If I
we have
recall-
the report every month.
Yes, but
Correct? So do you
if
want
I
to
re-
change the report? Is that your request?
If I remember correctly, it was your reference saying that we need to see what code enforcement can do. Let's have them tell us next month how they're doing better enforcement. Yes, do you want to go back and listen to the workshop?
It's fine. So
Okay.
are you asking for more information as far as how many tickets? Because right now,
Well,
we put,
we
let me
have-
just ask the manager, in
Yeah.
the monthly report, we provide the numbers for the dogs on the beach.
Yes.
Okay.
Jerry, if what you want is to know what is the process, that's the request you need to make. What is it that we can do? What is it that we cannot do? How? So
I've
ask
heard
for
from
the process.
residents that the issue of dogs on the beach is not being attended to. So I brought it up as to other ordinances that we have in the city that are not attended to, that need better,
If may I?
maintenance.
So I want to understand, see, if I am in the beach with my dog is in the water with me, it's not a service dog, what are the consequences? For me personally, I'm there with my dog, swimming on the beach. What will be the consequences?
Go ahead.
Mayor?
What is the process? Yeah.
Julio? Julio, very briefly.
Yes, sir.
Explain the process,
Good
please.
afternoon, everyone. So first of all, we don't know if the animal is a service dog or not, and we're not allowed to ask. If it's there was only two questions we're allowed to ask. Is your dog a service animal, and what duty does it provide? What service does it provide? That's it. But if the person tells us that it is a service dog, we have no way of determining that it's not. That's the challenge the city manager was mentioning. So it's very difficult for us to potentially infringe on somebody's ADA requirements because the law does not allow us to inquire any further.
Okay, so to my point, so I'm in the water with my dog. Somebody from code enforcement comes and said, "Oh, madam, is it service dog or not, whatever?" And if I lie, which technically you cannot do because that's also punishable, you guys cannot do anything.
No.
Basically. Okay, like I said before, I know personally people who went through this in the beach, in Hollywood Beach, and they got a ticket. So if possible, we have a very good communication with other municipalities, and we spoke about this many times, long time ago again. Just let's reach out to them, because I know of them for a fact that they give tickets to the people when they are in the beach with their dogs. And maybe after that research and with the city attorney, we can be a little bit more proactive, because it's escalating, it's true. So
Well, from a regulation standpoint, you've done all you can from a regulation standpoint. From an enforcement standpoint, he's correct. If somebody says it's my service dog, you're done. The inquiry is done. You have to take them at their word, and that's federal law. If they tell you it's not a service dog and they're honest, then you can proceed with enforcement. But if they lie to you, that you can't, they don't have to have anything on them to indicate that they're trained. They don't have to mark the dog in any way.
And they don't have to have a leash?
The only thing is you still, even though it's ADA protected, your dog still, you still have to have control over your dog, right? And they can't defecate, they can't do, you have to be able to control your dog. So let's say you're sitting at an outdoor little cafe there and you have a service dog. That service dog has to be able to behave and be trained. If it's not, you can ask them to leave, not because they're a service dog or you don't want dogs, but because you can't control your dog. Or if they urinate or defecate, you can kick them out for that reason. So it's the same thing on the beach. Fortunately, and it's the same thing with homeless and with anyone else, your code enforcement officers, you police officers, have to witness the dog defecating or urinating, right, for that, because it's a misdemeanor, so they have to witness it. So if a code enforcement officer is there and the dog defecates, absolutely you can give them a ticket. If they admit to you that, no, it's not a service dog, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to have a dog here, you can give them a ticket. But if it's an ADA, if they lie, unfortunately, and every jurisdiction's dealing with it, unfortunately.
And a couple quick things. You know, the leash, yes, but if the duty, so it says in control, it doesn't even say it has to be leashed, because of a specific duty it's supposed to perform requires it to be off a leash,
Right.
Then it doesn't need a leash. I have done extensive research, and unfortunately, the county also has, you know, all over in different cities. The problem, there's only 2 cities that have been able to cite and issue a citation that they can take somebody to county court. That system is not set up in Miami-Dade County, so there's nothing to attach a citation to, because code enforcement typically issues citations to properties or where the violation exists. And there really is no way for us to collect a citation, and I've been in contact with everyone from the county and different municipalities, and there isn't. Every municipality I've spoken to, they just tell me that they issue warnings, and that's pretty much.
And if you give them a ticket, you can give them a ticket, and if they pay it, wonderful, great, you know, and that's fine. But if they choose not to pay it, like Julio says, there's very little you can do. There's nothing you can attach to it.
Which is still something we are looking to do, is still issue citations when we do find those violations. That is in the process. We're actually printing those citations as we speak, because we're going to be using those citations for the new scooter ordinance that was just passed.
And we can bring them in front of the special magistrate, and again, the special magistrate can go ahead and say, yes, you have to pay it. But if they don't pay it, we don't have a property to attach to it. We don't, you know, it's a personal violation. So those are the challenges that they face.
What about
from an
creating a
enforcement
registry?
standpoint.
We could research that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Registry for what?
Register your dog.
Yes.
Yeah, under the ADA though, you wouldn't be allowed to force them to register their dog.
So, yeah, short of having a code person at every single beach access there all day.
To let you know, we've had approximately 2,400 encounters, so warnings, different situations dealing with animals so far this fiscal year. I know because I requested to compile some of those stats, because that's one of those stats that we're putting in as our goals in the budget. It'll be the first time it'll be there in the budget. So in addition to the regular monthly stats you get, because it's such a big issue, I've put it as one of our goals as well, so it can be counted. And that's a huge increase from previously, and it's primarily due to now having 2 dedicated individuals that are working park ranger duties, who, like the city manager said, are always patrolling the beach every single day, twice a day, and doing as much as they can with their limited ability that they have.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
people need to be better neighbors to each other. Have we updated the signs everywhere? I know that we did that. We were meant to do the beach access signs. Every single one is updated, correct? There was new ones. Some of them were old, remember? They're all say no dogs.
Yes.
All of them.
They say service animals.
And I think that our garbage cans had something on there as well.
The ones on the beach have the symbols, yes. It's a
But
graphic.
I think some of them are a little faded.
He just ordered some new ones. Every
Okay.
year he replaces
Neat.
to a limit.
Can we do some social media push or something just to
We
remind?
do frequently do social
I
media
know.
pushes on dogs. I believe we did one right after the last meeting.
Okay.
Okay, there is
Are we
this,
going to continue?
in my kids' pediatricians, in Pediatric Associate, there is this sign, and it says Service Animals Policy. Only service animals as defined by the American with Disabilities Act, the Department of Justice, and Florida statute are allowed in our premises. No pets allowed in this facility. Owner's responsibility. An individual who knowingly and willfully misrepresents herself or himself through conduct or verbal or written notice as using a service animal and being qualified to use a service animal or as a trainer of a service animal commit a misdemeanor of the second degree punishable as provided in Statute 775-082, 775-083.
We
So
actually,
maybe a big sign.
we've
with
put that
that-
in our signs. Actually, we created a warning last year that's like a pamphlet, but it says warning on it. And I actually put that language in there to show the seriousness of it, to try to get people to comply more. So we
Right.
actually have that language in there.
Again, unfortunately, once they tell you you can't inquire any further, so how do you find out they're lying to you? You can't, under federal law, you can't inquire further. So it's great to have that language there, and it scares some people. But from a compliance standpoint and enforcement standpoint, you cannot federally ask them any other questions, and you can't find out if they're lying or not.
The people that are not lying are the ones that it's gonna
Yeah.
scare.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, folks, it's 6 o'clock. Do we want to take a break?
I'm ready to call it.
Yeah.
And do we start with these items or we just push
Yeah.
them?
No, I think we need to go to the end for discussion items.
Oh, at the end of the meeting, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's better because
Okay. So
Okay,
put
all
it
right,
on the
so we'll adjourn and
Okay.
see everyone at 6:30.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the workshop that we did not
Okay.
finish. So we were on item, Mauricio, please, if you can remind us all.
We left off on item 3F, which is a discussion regarding the misuse of handicap parking tags.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph, this was your item?
Yes, hold on, I have to get to, 1 minute, please. Okay, here, which one is it?
Misuse of handicap parking tags.
Yes, okay. So the city of Hialeah has, and I'd like to follow their lead regarding there was a video. Mauricio, I sent you the video. Did you happen to see it?
No, I couldn't open it, and I forgot to tell you that I wasn't able to open that, Commissioner. I
Okay,
apologize.
anyway, let me see if I have it. Let's see. I actually have it on my phone.
Mayor?
Yes.
Maybe I can help. We already do this,
Okay,
and I've asked Code to step up the enforcement of it, but we do this on a regular basis.
all right. I
We
see
do.
that the 112 citations from October 25th through end of April, I'm assuming? Oh,
Yes.
April 9th, there's missing okay.
I asked Code to give us some statistics on it, so we've issued 112.
Okay,
Regarding illegal use of handicap parking?
Parking in a handicapped space without the proper sticker.
Yes, but, okay. So also, I would like for us to investigate whether we could work with the tax assessor, because they actually issue the handicap rear view mirror hanging parts, right? Is that who issues them? Dario?
I don't know.
Okay, I would like us to begin to work with that office to see how we could verify that these people are actually handicapped that are getting these stickers.
I can tell you that to get that designation for handicap, you have to come in personally as the handicapped person and swear that and show that you have disability from a doctor.
Okay.
And then they give it to you, and I think you have to renew it depending on the disability.
I mean, there are so many people I see from, and you never know what someone's disability is. But you go to, and I'm sure everyone else sees as well, you go to Costco and they have that first row is all handicapped. And you see people get out of those cars, out of expensive cars, and they just don't look handicapped. I mean, you never know if they have high blood pressure or whatever, or some other condition, but still, on the surface, these people do not look handicapped. So I'm just thinking a certain number have to be using these tags fraudulently.
Okay, but I think that it's not really incumbent on us to oversee another office of the county.
I would, Hialeah is doing something. I would like to follow Hialeah's lead.
What are they doing?
That's what I'm trying to get the video. There was a video, I believe it was on Channel 10.
If I may, I believe it was Miami Springs. I did see the
Miami
video.
Springs, yes. Hialeah
And
was something
theirs was people
Yes.
parking without the hanger tag, which is what we are currently doing. So it's not that they had something that
But I think
they
they
were not
caught
handicapped.
people also with the hanger tags that were not legitimate.
The video that I saw was they did an operation where they went to all of the businesses and were checking, and they stopped and asked people, and they had, I'm just running in for a minute type of thing, and
Right.
there was more parking there without the hanger tag.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I would like to, if we could, get in touch with Miami Lakes and see what they're doing and follow their lead.
Okay, but you don't know what it is that they're doing that you want to follow.
There was the video that I sent to Mauricio. It said exactly what they're doing.
But
So
what is it that we are going to vote on? What do you want us to support?
I want us to support enforcement of the use of handicapped spaces illegally.
Okay, so I think we have support from everyone on that. That's what we're doing. Okay.
And I will forward everyone the video if I'm allowed to do that, so you see exactly what it is.
I think Susan just explained it, but sure. Okay.
Yes, but you have to see it yourself. It's
All right.
it's self-explanatory.
All right, and then there's one more item that's yours from earlier.
Yes, 3G is the discussion regarding public comments during commission workshop items.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, open workshop items. Okay, so I would like to have it where we have resident input during the workshop items.
Mm-hmm.
That you could also fill out a form and speak regarding our workshop items.
Okay, and what's
If everyone's open to that.
what's the reasoning? What's your
The
reasoning?
reasoning is because residents have an interest in some of our workshop items, and I would like to have their input.
Okay. How would somebody have input on this item, for instance?
On this item?
No, for the
On
one that
the-
we just spoke about.
Okay, well, they could say that they've also witnessed this situation, or they have a handicap tag themselves, and there was a spot that was being used illegally, and it didn't afford them the space. So I would like to hear that.
Okay, so just for clarification, I'd like the city attorney, just so that we understand what we're talking about, because I know it's late in the evening. So as far as, the difference between a workshop, what's the purpose of the workshop, and the purpose of our actual working session where we take action?
Well, generally, I mean, I know we call it a workshop, but a lot of places call it a conference meeting, or the purpose typically is, this is your opportunity, a workshop, as we call it, is your opportunity to speak as elected official with each other. So it's kind of a conference meeting. So this is the only legal way you all can talk about things. And there's no action items, you don't make any decisions, there's no formal action that takes place. So essentially that's the purpose of it. You're not legally required to take public comment during workshops or conference meetings because you're not acting on anything. So, I mean, you can if you want to, but you certainly don't have to from a legal standpoint. And ultimately, again, generally as a practice, these conference meetings allow you to speak about these issues, bring up these issues, and if there's some kind of consensus, usually that'll be some follow-up actions. So, for example, here, if there's something to be done following that, that's going to turn into some kind of formal action where the public at that point has all the opportunities they can to speak on it, and so on and so forth. So, again, legally it's not required, but there's nothing prohibiting it either.
Okay.
Well, I believe that we should restore the option of the people talking during the workshops. We had it before, this administration made that change, and it's true that technically we are not taking action because we are not voting, but we are voting to have consensus. Consensus is basically voting. We are voting, oh yeah, we have consensus to present this as a resolution, to present this as an ordinance. We should be listening to the people. It's more transparency. That this should have never had changed. We are right now basically shielding the people from coming and talking about the issues that are important for them. Many times we are putting discussion items because it is the public which is requesting us to put, at least to me, to put these discussion items for them. But then they are not able to speak about it. That doesn't make any sense. So if we can bring items to the agenda because the people is asking us to put those items, how come them they cannot come and present what is it that they wanted to say in the first place? So this administration decided to make that change. I think it's completely wrong, and I'm for opening to the public to be able to come during the discussion items and participate.
Okay.
Just one thing I forgot to mention also, you do have your public forum. So if someone, because the Citizens Bill of Rights under Miami-Dade County ordinances, which you've adopted in yours, addresses the ability of a citizen to be able to come and bring something to you, which they're able to do in the public format. It's a little different than speaking at the workshop, but I just wanted to make that distinction, that they're able to do that with the public forum.
And to the question of the mayor about what about the item that we just discussed, I have many times a mom, which I remember I sent the text to a stamp back in the days, that she has a child with disability, and almost every day when she was going to the school, the blue parking spaces were taken by certain vehicles. We sent the pictures, these people stopped doing what they were doing, but she was telling me about this issue. So if we are talking about these spaces for people with disabilities, that mom will be here, letting us know how it's affecting her child, specifically a girl with disabilities, when she goes to the school and she cannot park because there are vehicles there without any kind of like a permit. We're just parking there because it's convenient, and I understand. So if we have a discussion item like the one that he just brought, we will have that mom in here, and she should be able to be listened. So I do believe if we want to be transparent, we should be having the workshops open to the public.
Okay. Well, for clarification, the workshops are open to the public, and the public has an opportunity to speak at the commission meeting. The public can contact us individually. The public elected this body to represent them. They do not need to come if they don't want to, because they can watch on YouTube, they can email us, and they are free to come to speak on any item, not just an item on the agenda. We've never prohibited anyone from contacting us or voicing their concern or their approval, for that matter. But I'd like to hear from the rest of the commission, because I want to remind everyone that at the end of the day, we're here to do the city business. And and I'm very supportive of having more public input. So if we want to, we are free to do town halls, to have that. We can add additional meetings in order to hear the residents. But as far as that as an example, that item, I get it. I understand that there is.
I found the video.
No,
It was
thank you.
Channel
I
7.
understand that. But my point is that the public needs to have a very specific instruction as to what it is they would be speaking on. And when we're just discussing, we are trying to discuss and speak amongst us. And we ourselves aren't even certain what it is we're going to be talking about, as Commissioner Joseph wasn't even sure what city it was. So to have the public come and speak on it in any sort of intelligent way is going to be very difficult and challenging for them. But let me hear from the rest of the commission.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's not like we just removed public comment and, you know, we reshaped the whole thing. We used to have everything in one meeting, and then we would be here like forever. Right, like all the discussion items, we would have our agenda items, and the discussion items were at the end.
So we had our agenda reviews individually, which were not open to the
No,
public.
I mean, we had our commission meetings.
And then we had our commission meeting
with-
that was
with the
everything.
agenda items, like the voting items, and then all the discussion items came at the end of the commission
Remind me,
meeting,
please,
right?
Mauricio, they were at the end, right? The discussion items?
Yes, the discussion.
Okay.
Oh, we would do the proclamations and the presentations and the pictures.
At the beginning.
At the beginning. Then we would do the agenda items, and then we would do all the discussion items. Did we allow a public comment on the discussion items? I don't remember.
I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
right
don't
now.
know, so I don't know if that's.
I do remember being here for many years, since 2016, sitting down as a resident, and before, we will have a back and forth with the whole commission at any time for any issue, resolutions, proclamations, discussion items, you name it. It was this commission, the one that stopped that. Until 2022, that's how we were. We were really open to the public. So right now, to the example of the parking issue. So if we're talking about at 3:30, now we want a mom to come at 8:30 to remind us what we discussed back at 3:30 about those parking spaces. Doesn't make any sense. We are here for the people. As of right now, the way it is, we are shielding the people of even having the staff like we used to have here over the years until 2023. So is this administration the one that has gone backwards in transparency? It has gone backwards in allowing the people to have access to the staff and to us. It's true that they can call us, they can text us, they can email, they can do whatever they want, but they have the right to be here and to be listened when we are having those discussions. That's why we get elected. So yes, I remember coming here for many years in that podium and being able to talk with the members of the commission.
Yeah, no, and I remember you speaking. I just honestly, I can't recall whether, I just don't remember, like whether discussion items also had the public component or not. But we restructured everything so that we would have the agenda review, which is public. We used to have them individual. So that's more transparency. Then we broke up all the presentations because we would use up like basically our best focus hours taking pictures, and then at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock we would start with the substantive things, and we were tired by the end, and there were still important things. So we restructured everything to allow for more transparency and also better focus for us on substantive matters. So I mean, it's just different. I don't have more to add to it because I would have to go back and review what we were doing before. But I mean, I think the workshops is really for us to be able to have a conversation for ourselves to be able to direct future items. And we just finished having a 3-hour one.
Okay.
Just us.
Right,
So,
if we had the public
you
comment.
know, the whole point was to make it more manageable, and we keep making it.
Well, we are
more
here only
unmanageable.
once a month. So we restructure that. We should restructure because clearly it's not. It's,
Okay,
it's not
Commissioner
working
Stevenson, whatever.
because-
Hold
yeah,
on a
but
second.
then-
Let Commissioner Lama have his.
I was, okay, I was gonna say, I was done.
You're done? Thank you. Commissioner Lama.
Yeah, I would like to see, you know, if they want to participate, say any comments during our, well, we're saying workshops, but it's really agenda review, right? We're referring to, or workshops
No,
or
it's
anything?
during the
in
workshop.
general?
That they could write up a slip at 3 o'clock, at the 3 o'clock
Oh, you
hour,
ta-
between the
okay.
3 and 5,
Mhm.
and they could have
The
input
discussion item.
with us, yeah, to maybe add some good ideas. You never
Yeah,
know.
I'm okay with that, yeah. Now, what we really should be thinking is how do we get more people through those doors?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is transparency is one way.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, well, but yeah, I'm okay with people talking during our workshops. It's okay.
and showing openness to have people participate. We are shooing people away with our.
I mean, I wouldn't
Mayor?
say that, Jerry.
Well,
I mean,
May I?
They
Yes.
know.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that all of our meetings are open to the public. They're welcome to attend. I keep hearing, for lack of a better word, stories about all of the people that want to participate. At our last agenda review, there was one person there. So where are they?
Yeah.
I haven't heard from them. I'm not aware that you've heard from them. So they're welcome to bring their concerns forward. They have a public forum now. Our last meeting went over 3 hours. So we can do this. We just need to probably start earlier, and we could make it an all-day event on Thursday.
well, we could see. Well, first of all, not a lot of people come, so we could let them speak. Obviously, we could structure in a way where obviously it doesn't go overboard when it comes to time.
But that's just it. So let me ask you a question, because this is you know, in theory, it sounds great. But in practice, that's what we need to consider. Because right now, if I'm looking at the agenda items for the workshop, we all had agreed at a certain point that the memos would have some detailed information so that we all would have some information to discuss, so we would not be left with kind of, what are you talking about? We've gone to a place now where the memo barely says anything. So if you're going to expect, and again, I support the public participating. I would love it if this place was filled every single day, not just when people were unhappy. If you're going to expect them to be able to participate in a meaningful way, then it's going to be incumbent on us to create a memo that gives them all the information they need to know, not just a free-for-all of, well, I have something to say. Because at the end of the day, we need to stick to an agenda. Otherwise, we will be here indefinitely. And remember that the public comment comes first, and then will be our discussion. You understand? So it's not
No,
going
I
to be,
understand.
it's not a back and forth. So we have to be very clear as to what we're agreeing to.
Maybe Mauricio can take emails from residents.
does take emails.
Hold on, let Commissioner Lama finish if any other questions he
No,
has.
but what I'm trying to say is that whoever is present there, right, at our workshops, you
don't
know,
have
sadly,
anyone.
it's not enough people there that come to our commission meetings. So, you know, we got to see how we get more people through the door. But whoever's there, we could probably structure in a way where they do get to comment or ask a couple of questions, and, you know, not with the intent of extending it so it's, let's say, all day or it's a marathon, but at least for them to have their say, or if they have an idea or an observation, for them to express that. I don't see, you know, an issue with that. And then we could test it out. We could always, like, we always keep adjusting different things. We could adjust it if need be.
Just to add to your point, though, the code, you'd still have to follow your code, right? So you'd still have to, because your code says that, like what the mayor had stated before, that the public comment comes before you talking about an item. So if you have something on the agenda, it would have to be sufficiently clear what that item is, because the public wouldn't know what to say before you all even start discussing it. So you'd still, you might have to amend those rules, but to be able to change the way you're suggesting, you'd have to change your code.
Got it. Okay, well, we could try it out. I mean, yeah, I think that the public, whoever goes to that workshop should be able to say something.
So that means we would have to then be very strict with our memo requirements.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the public needs to know what it is they be talking
I see some
about.
of these memos, and I'm like, okay, item to be presented. I'm like, we had talked about having at least some sort of paragraph describing,
Right.
What that item is going to be about. And we're not getting that. So I think we need to stick to the rules that we put together so there's order and it's fair to everybody, including ourselves,
That's what it is.
the
That's what
residents,
it'll be.
etc.
Okay.
And maybe we should limit the amount of discussion items, perhaps, that each one of us could put. Sometimes, I don't know. Can we
Well-
put 10 on a day? I don't know.
Well, that's,
we gotta be cognizant of that. Sometimes, some of these discussion items, if it can wait for the next month, or I don't know. We need to look into that as well.
Some of the discussion items, if
There could be an
it-
email.
It really could be an email.
Could be an email.
And whatever. Yeah. I'm sorry.
you're
I'm
done?
crashing. Yeah.
Commissioner, I'm
So,
sorry.
Yeah. I
Can
just-
you please mute, Commissioner? Can you please? Thank you.
Okay. So where did we land?
I'm open to having the public, talk.
Okay. So does that mean limiting our
I
discussion?
remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Then we need to have like a hard stop. Then
Yeah, there's no
if-
more continuation.
correct.
Right.
And then so we can put, let's say, whatever it's supposed to be, and not have it per item, because then we'll be here. We could potentially be here like we were today, but I would be okay. I would be okay with considering, like, if it's not against our code or whatever, opening the public comment at the end. So that we do an hour and a half or whatever, and then public comment,
Or at the beginning.
or whatever, but just not every item, because then
Right.
not per item, because then we will potentially just make this even longer. And like I said, today we were here 3 hours, just us, like no public comment.
Right, but then the public comment would be in the beginning,
it would-
because it's
Yeah.
not it's before we speak about an
Because
item.
that's what used to happen before, when the meetings went forever, and then public comment, there was like one person left, David. It was David,
Yes.
and that was, and
Right.
that was it. So even when we had public comment, it wasn't really an opportunity, because
Because
it
it
was
lasted so
11:30
long.
by the time we got there, which is when we
Sure.
broke up the meetings, so.
Can you turn that off? How can we have a better discussion about this? Because it's late and I feel like people are literally walking out. So that this is meaningful, because I don't feel like we've landed anywhere right now.
Well, I think it's kind of very simple. Today we have a workshop with a long agenda. If it doesn't make sense to say that we want to have more people here and we don't want them to talk, so what they're going to be coming for? It doesn't make zero sense. If you are coming, it's because there is an issue there in the agenda that you want to speak about it. Clearly, people are just now walking around and say, oh, let's go inside and see what is it that they're talking about for me to then participate. People will come if they can be listened to. We changed the rules of engagement. This has to be restructured. We have to allow the people to come and speak on the issue, on the agenda that is important for them. If we start at 3, we can say we cannot go after 5:30, whatever time that we put. And then if we have still some items, then we can pass it like right now what we are doing at the end of the commission meeting. So it's super simple. We had it like that. It worked for like 24 years, and we just changed it, or 25 years. And it was just recently changed, and people is frustrated about it. I am here, I am being listened to, and I am frustrated for them. Because I remember being on the other side. And just to remind you guys, after November, you guys are not going to be sitting down here, and you have 8 years of knowledge of being here. So there are going to be items that probably you know a lot about it, you have a lot to say, and it's going to be really helpful to listen to you. But guess what? If there is now open to the public, you guys are going to be sitting down there and you cannot talk during the discussion item. Does that make any sense? To not allow a former commissioner that have a lot of knowledge about the issue to not be able to talk? Or it's going to be different rules for different type of citizens?
Okay.
Think about that one.
I'm not against it.
Okay.
It's just that I don't know if it's up to the code, but I also don't want to pretend like the way that we had it before was working and perfect, because it wasn't.
Okay, well, for me,
I don't have my mic on.
I'm here once a month. I don't care if I'm here all day.
All right.
Once a month. Exactly.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Like, we don't need a motion to adjourn because these are discussion items.
So for the next month, we are going to have the people being able to come and talk to us.
Yes, so
Doing
we're looking
talk-
to open up the workshop. That's what we're asking.
That's it, yeah. So
For
if we
a
want
vote.
to have people ready to come. Okay, so there is consensus, I guess.
Yeah, I'm open to it, and we could try it. And
Hold on a second.
Okay.
So procedurally, Mr. City Attorney, what information do we need, if anything?
Well, if there's a consensus to, I mean, again, we pretty much have to follow the code. I could sit down with the city clerk. I mean, just anecdotally, when I first started here 3 years ago, it seems there were a lot less discussion items. Like today, we had 7. So there may be some merit to limiting the discussion items if you really want to allow public input so that there's enough time for the public to actually speak. So you may want to consider that, but we'd have to go through procedurally and see how we work that out.
So let's start at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so
I'm
Yeah, you
fine
can-
with starting at 2
Hold-
o'clock
hold on.
instead of 3.
Yeah, the only,
Is everyone,
wait, stop.
yeah, you can deviate times for your afternoon meeting, not the nighttime meeting, but you can fluctuate times for your afternoon meeting if you want.
Okay, so you can fluctuate time. So how about we have the city clerk sit down with the attorney to put something together? Anything that we do, this is a great opportunity to really discuss how we have not been following our own rules. And we do need to provide an actual memo that not
Yes.
only the public, but that
So?
we collectively know what we're talking about so that we're not looking like we're scrambling up here
This needs
because
to
we
be
can't.
more
1 second,
detailed.
please.
yes.
So that we're not just throwing a bunch of stuff that we kind of thought about. It needs to be something that is of substance, that we can have an intelligent conversation, so then the public can also contribute whatever it is they're thinking, so that it's not a discussion of what we think it is and the public thinks it's something totally different.
And if we could talk with staff before we put something on the agenda, so that if it can be an email, make it an email.
I agree to that as well. I think that we need to have discussions with staff prior to putting stuff on the discussion item, so that we can ask them some of the questions that unfortunately when we ask them, we have to wait until the next month. So do we have consensus on that?
Who is staff? That's the
The city
question I always
manager.
ask.
The city manager.
Yes, okay.
So are we okay with that?
Well, so we have consensus for the next month. The people can come, and whatever item it is in the agenda, in the workshop, they can
Right, but do
have
we
the
have,
opportunity to speak.
I think what we have consensus on is, let's see how it can be structured.
No, that's not what I
No,
understand.
that's,
Right.
no, we
Well-
want to start it for next month.
Well,
I
we
think
have
we
to
need to
see
know the
how it can be structured first.
Like we had
We
it
already
before,
spoke.
for forever.
Huh?
We already spoke of it.
Yes.
That you have,
Alan, do you know how it's going to be structured?
Well, again, the city clerk and I could sit, just logistically, we want to make sure that, we're set up for people to, like they do at the nighttime meeting, to be able to fill out the cards, and it'll be the same 3 minutes. And again, we'd have to have, I guess, enough information about the items so people know what, we're speaking of. And then,
More
again, I don't know if you want to limit the amount of discussion items, so
So-
you give a fair chance for people to speak on the items. I don't know.
Mayor, if I may. So I'll just go a step further and ask kindly that when you guys submit your items to me 2 weeks before, that week following, we meet together along with the city manager, the city attorney, the deputy city manager, to go over each of your items to see if those items are better suited to be discussion items, or if it's something that staff can address in a one-on-one or in an email, or if it's something that can just go directly to the 6:30 meeting.
So let's do that at the agenda review.
Well, no, I'm proposing for that
Hold
to
on,
be
let
done
the city
prior.
clerk finish what he was saying.
For that to be done prior. So the items are due 2 weeks prior, that Friday before, 2 Fridays before. So I'm proposing that we meet with you all, whoever has an item that they want to put on the agendas, whether it's a workshop agenda or the 6:30 meeting. We sit down, we discuss those items to see what's the best path to move forward
Okay,
with each of you.
I support
And
that.
it's helpful for us, like, for example, not to pick on you, Commissioner Lama, but the one item you had with the single-use plastics, I didn't get an opportunity to speak with you so much about the legal side of it, but it's helpful because if we could at least, we could still bring it, but that information is all forward and it's here available so that we can discuss it, and it's helpful if we can participate in that item.
And then to further add to that, oftentimes when you guys send me your information, a lot of times it's just a few words, a few sentences, and then I'm left to try to figure out what your intent is or what you want to actually have on the memo. So by meeting with us, that'll eliminate a lot of guessing, for lack of a better word.
All right, do we have consensus on that?
Yes.
And if that meeting doesn't happen, then it doesn't make it on the agenda.
Right.
I'll leave that for you all to decide.
I agree. Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
So,
right.
Wait, I have one other question.
Please go ahead.
So at next month's workshop, we're going to have, if people show up for participation, for each workshop item, the resident would have questions. They would have their input before we have that discussion item.
Correct.
Right, okay.
So it'll still be structured the same way that regular city commission meetings are structured, where it's them presenting their comments. It's not a back and forth. It's not a conversation with the commission.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, thank
Okay,
you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.